In the last 90 days alone, guys, they paid out over $10 million and have earned over 1,000 5-star reviews from real traders just like you. So use the discount code TTV to save on any account. Scan that QR code or head on over to top1futures.com and start trading toward your next payout. Joey, it is 2:01:15 on a Friday. That means we have to multiply that time by 5. So we're owed 5.5 extra minutes.
We're owed 2 hours. 2 hours.
Neil did not like that at all.
2 hours. 2 hours. You know what? I've seen Obi had some big pieces of salmon there. Where'd you put it?
In his stomach.
There's no way you ate all that, bro.
He ate it.
No
he ate it.
way.
What we don't want to tell Obi, though, what I don't want to tell him is that when he left his plate there,
the flies.
There were a lot of visitors to that plate.
So he's gotten some extra protein there.
Yeah.
Hey,
he got extra protein. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Insect protein in some cultures is a delicacy.
It is a big time thing.
So shout out to Obi and all the fruit flies. He got extra for free there.
Or grasshoppers?
I've never had.
Oh, really?
I'm not averse to it, though. I'm not.
No?
No.
I would have a hard time.
Salted crickets? For real, though?
Real
For real?
hard time.
Yeah, I'm not averse to it.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time. I'd have a hard time.
No, I wouldn't. I would eat. Yeah. If I didn't like it, I'd spit it out. Simple as that.
Yeah.
All
right.
Are we going to do it live?
Do it. Get the man some salted crickets.
Are we going to do it live?
Do it. I would love to.
I think we can take a couple of bucks from the zillions of dollars we got in a super chat lately.
Yeah.
And weasel in.
All right, my guy, I'm going to find you some of those.
Hold on. So you're going to have some too?
No, I'm not having.
You're not going to do it live?
No, I'm not doing it live.
So are you going to do it off camera?
No, I'm not doing it, brother. I'm not eating the bugs.
You're going to let me sit here and eat?
You just volunteered. I said I'm not doing it.
We're partners, dog. We're doing the show together.
Okay, if we're partners, we don't got to do it then. You need to drag me into that. Just like when you always
try to... Did you see this, Neil?
No, this guy's always like, oh, we got a cookie here. And he's like, Joe, eat the other half of the cookie. And I'm like, I don't want the cookie. He's like, eat it. I'm eating it. I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Adara. Will you eat salted crickets with me?
I said out loud that I would. I have no issue with that.
See?
I do not care.
You see that?
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Got guts. Thank you, Adara.
I'll hang out with Neil. And then you and Adara can eat crickets. And I'll eat some...
Obi's going to have some crickets too.
I'm down. Sign me up. Cricket show. We'll do the cricket show. Trader TV cricket.
All right, guys, it's 2:03 multiplied by 5. That is now 15 minutes extra.
4 hours.
Shout out to the guys. That's really nice of them.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see everybody, guys, on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Big boys are that way.
Crickets, but you know, actually, I shouldn't say that. I would try anything.
That's some good protein.
I've never had crickets before. Look, right now, there is I show it to you? Of course I can show it to you. Let's just go right to my screen. There is somebody eating there's a wall at 226 on Amazon. See that? 100 shares?
Oh, hello. Ice?
That is,
ice, baby.
Yeah. That is what we call a reserve order on ARCA at 226. This short was cruising, by the way, thank you very much, until, I don't know if did news hit on Amazon? I didn't hear anything. But it caught a heck of a bid and then right back in, but you can see the brick wall. Oh no. I don't want to chase. All right, I'll chase for less. This absolute brick wall at the top. I think this is like a patented, if it breaks, get out. If it goes, reverse on this 226 on Amazon. But I also want to scalp some out if we get the push back down in. So welcome back, everybody. The market didn't do a heck of a lot. But if you were watching the crypto-related names, my goodness, did they ever break and fade? Obviously, I'm going to be watching Amazon in here. But Circle, yeah. Circle went from basically like sell the news at the open to break it out to sell all day long. And then even I took a shot at this, and we'll get into the nitty gritty up here or down here of how it faked everybody out. But wow, unbelievable reversals, and not just Circle. I mean, Robinhood did something similar, Coinbase as well, as it just turned into a sell the news event on the crypto week. So there was exuberance that I think, look, I don't want to say trapped people, Because like the longs went so far in the morning that it would have been difficult. Like, of course you would be taking profit. Kind of hard to believe anybody got too trapped because all the longs were so good. Even like the late breakout at 10 o'clock, you could have had on most of those and you still get a good chunk. So and hopefully everyone took their profit out here. The only one that held up was Webull, still up 7%. Go Webull, baby. It's the only one of these names that actually held up. Still holding VWAP. I got out. I did a VWAP trade. I'll probably take this off VWAP again. But Obi, what an absolute rug pull. But sometimes it sells the news, right?
Listen, you guys saw I was only one way and one way only on Hood today. I did not try the long. I did miss the long, not saying that the long was not valid. The long was extremely valid, and I was experiencing a significant amount of FOMO because of missing some of these beautiful pushes there. But I was patient. I was like, all right, fine, it's okay. Not really in the zone to take some of those breakouts, but definitely here to take some of the reversions when and if that does come in. And guess what, Neil? I just had to stay involved because I pretty much almost sold every price all the way down to opening prices there, and then but didn't really hold to some of these pre-market lows. It seems like that downtrend, and sellers are definitely in charge on the day. So just have to stay involved as well on some of this, but it is what it is. Where is the next trade? I got into a little bit of Rivian as well earlier on an extension back through prior day's prices. Let's take a quick look at that one as well, so I can explain the Rivian. Wow. You know what, Neil? You saw this. I had IONQ off open, did I not?
It's always, I'm telling you, man, it goes from one to the other. It goes from Rigetti one day to QBTS the next day to ION. That's exactly what happened. They literally just handed the baton. Because if you looked at Rigetti, let me just finish this thought. Oh my God, I had the bottom of it. Rigetti one day, this unbelievable. And then yesterday it was QBTS, and today it's IONQ that decides. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of FOMO going on for these because I've got the bottom wick on the pullback of Rigetti, and it's at the highs. Ooh. There's a lot of FOMO with these quant names. Don't want to punch in at the top. Let's see what you guys wanted to talk about and change the subject from missed opportunities and quantum.
That was honest. Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. Neil's losing it. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the ticker spot as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there, get into the chat and vote. You can vote any time of the day now. Super simple, $, your 3, 4, or 5-letter ticker. Make sure you're voting every day and have your say. Here's a look at all 4 major averages, and all 4 major averages are in negative territory today, with the NQ down 0.18, likewise with the ES close to flat, down 0.14. The Russ taking it on the chin today. This has been the best moving average in the last month, down 0.71, and the Dow a little bit more than half a point in the negative, guys. Here's the first ticker as decided by you. Circle, Neil just covered it. A big move up earlier on anyway on the back of that stable coin news that all 3 different crypto legislations were passed in the House. The Genius Act now makes its way to the president's desk, while the Clarity Act and the digital or the ban on digital currency goes to the Senate for approval there. And Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP led the crypto market cap rebound, guys, above now $4 trillion.
Ooh.
Get it, crypto. Look, Tesla's third on the list, but Tesla is also at the high of the day right now. Get it, Tesla. Oh my goodness. There's a friend of mine who has a swing trade on Tesla, and he was like, "Oh, should I sell before the earnings?" I said, is it a trade or an investment? And he said it's a trade. I'm like, "Well, do you like the risk in earnings?" He's, "No." I'm like, "Well, then you've answered the question yourself." And of course, this was like half an hour ago, so he's gonna hate me now. Even though that's what you're supposed to do, and I'm just giving him the advice. Like, it's what I would do too, and I flat out told him my 222 swing in Tesla, I'm out of almost all of it in front of the earnings. So it's not as if I was giving advice that I wouldn't, but he's gonna be like, look at it now.
You know what's crazy? I have a friend from high school, and when we were in undergrad, he was crazy about Tesla. And he's been rolling leaps since we've been in undergrad. He's straight chilling. No, he's still undergrad was more than 15 years ago, I would say. 10, 15 years ago?
For you?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, yeah.
Does
At least, at the very minimum, 10.
There's no way you were in undergrad 15 years ago. How the hell old are you? What, 15 years ago?
I'm not saying that. That's proprietary information.
Okay,
that's proprietary information, but no, that's what I'm saying.
You look
some of these Tesla
you look damn
longs,
good for your age, bro. That doesn't even register. Anyways, let's go back to Circle for a second, because let's cap. There's no way, because that means if you're an undergrad, you're like 20 years old.
Just randomly out of the left, I hear from Joe, just randomly, in the midst of the quietness, all I hear is, all right, I'll eat a cricket.
Yeah, because
look, man, I'll try it too. Let's just finish the thought on Circle, because let's be real. A lot of people were expecting the sell the news event, and I didn't think it would be a complete abject disaster. It's only down 5%, right? So it's not the end of the world. Bitcoin is at 117, so it doesn't really do anything crazy. Ethan, the sky didn't fall. But I think what exacerbated this move was the squeeze that it had. There's a good chance that if it doesn't squeeze up, it might still be in the same spot, but it wouldn't have panicked people away. And it's a different perception of the down move because of that squeeze that happened from about 10 o'clock for like 30 minutes or so. Without that, it's probably like a very orderly down chart where it's just sell the news event here. That said, do you think if the shorts aren't out of the water, they might have reloaded for sure, but you're still upward trending, and we have that anchored VWAP that I hope you can show on Circle, which has been support from the lows.
Yeah.
So the shorts are in control right now. We'll see how long that's able to hold up for sure. And it didn't really matter. The only thing that held was Webull. Webull's the only one it's up 7%. It's doing something distinctly different from all of the other fintech names.
Those anchored VWAPs, man, I'm happy you mentioned that, because those are exactly what I'm watching here. And oh boy, that's a lot of anchored VWAPs, but I would like to direct your attention to just a few of them, and I've bolded them already, the ones that are important. The purple one is from the IPO price. So you can see how structure kind of built up on top of that and then pushed a little bit higher. This red one is from the highs, kind of giving us an indication of where the average player from the high is potentially sitting at. And you can see the aggressive volume that does come in when we start to break some of those average prices. And something interesting as well, Confluence with this structure high, this prior test that did fail that anchored VWAP from the highs. So it's like a double whammy when you break that on the push with that strong volume, and we've only been getting continuation since then. Strong pullback yesterday, bit of an extension and a push on the day today, a bit of a miss for myself, but what a beautiful reversion that was, and coming all the way back down into some prior day's lows. Still holding above that anchored though, so that's what I'm watching. Let's see if that resistance now turns into support going forward. What a crazy end of the week Circle has had, almost making a full circle to those highs.
Ooh. Oh.
Good one, Ope. Another day, another big move up for Open Door. This time, guys, to the tune of 30%. Strong day for OPEN. People opining on this one that it could be a 100-bagger, guys.
Yo, one of my favorite songs in the last decade is easily Silk Sonic. So I'm telling you, they left the door open on this bad boy, and it is absolutely squeezing. Everyone that wants the continuation in one of these plays, this is pretty much what it looks like, and we haven't had a lot of these where you get the early move, there's your breakup, you have a day like that, You know what I mean? Like you have, this is your move, you get this day, and it's followed by another breakout. Now it hasn't quite broken out yet, but come on, V-shaped. A lot of times when I see this, my first thought is consolidation breakdown, but the accumulation zone that happened on Circle at 175, and I guess this would be why a lot of the pre-market people, like once it's over here, if you're like a pre-market warrior, you're probably all kinds of involved here with your stop underneath 155 to risk 15%. And then go for it. Now up top, clearly it just needs to hold a bit above the quarter mark. 220, 2/4, you hold a bit above that, and it is all systems go because shorts are how can I say this in a better way? Shorts are quivering. How about that?
Okay.
Quivering or shaking in their boots, or just in sort of more interesting euphemism if you would like. And when you get to about 250, things get pretty spicy on open. But yeah, second stage, love the fact that it had a V-shaped recovery after what looked like a capitulation day yesterday. That could be really strong for this next week, if not a chance for a breakout late in the afternoon today.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think open, we talked about this one yesterday and how we were kind of pushing up from that prior hold and that prior day's hold, as well as on top of this anchored VWAP from when this volume started to really come in the past couple of weeks. We're only holding it and extending even higher on the day today. So the pretty interesting stuff here. Let's see if we can get back to days, I guess a day's high right there. I think Neil pointed out astutely that, yeah, we are well within range to start squeezing. You can see that strong push with expanding volume as well. Let's see if this one is open for more highs in the coming weeks.
Ew.
Tesla next, guys, right off the highs as this one has a great day today. There's no huge Tesla-specific headline, but we know Elon Musk has been ambitious to get into India, and today that cause may have just received another nod. There is, Starlink, another company owned by SpaceX, which is owned by Elon Musk, obviously got approval for India's market, guys. So Tesla moving up nicely. No specific catalyst though today for the car company.
No, I don't think that's how it works.
No, if you swat, if a fly is flying around or it's on my screen, like you do this, it's supposed to go. That's the
But
whole
they
thing.
come back.
Self-preservation.
Yeah,
Some of them aren't even moving.
Dude, they only live for, you know, their lifespan is
it's
nothing. They're taking risks, bro.
Well, that's what they got to take the risk. I did try Tesla short, and I was taking a risk when I did it. I like the moment that it happened, and I'm just thankful that we got out of this because Tesla, or like any stock, if you trade without a stop or without an out and you just get stubborn about things, you're going to get in trouble. Now, obviously, I was keying off of the 325 area when it was breaking down. Like early in the day, on the first move up, I got in and out flat, and that was a pretty timely move, I think, as well, looking to short the pop. Tried a long that didn't work out on the pullback in. And then just for the trading aspect, I'll get to the higher time frame in a second. Had this move down to break down, and when it bounced and consolidated, I'm like, okay, look for a continuation play, but stop right at the prior bar. That situation, at an average price in the $0.50, it's Tesla. If I can risk less than $1 on Tesla, I'll risk less than $1 on Tesla if it sets up almost every single time, if I like it. For the breakdown that I thought had room down to 21, it makes sense, but you've got to be able to get out. Clearly reversing would have been perfect, and once again, this could be big for Tesla going into earnings because we've been hugging the 50-period moving average for a few days now, and the sellers have been in total control. And then to simultaneously get above 325 on an options expiration day and hold that 50-period moving average, that's a lot of momentum for next week. So if we're looking at if we're looking at next week's trades, I'm feeling like the long on Tesla into 350 is looking like a given above 325. For this afternoon, it has rejected the high of the day now a second time at 331. I'm pretty inclined to take a 331 break a shot on Tesla because I usually use tight stops on Tesla anyway. So I feel with that trade, you can easily risk under $1 and Tesla can go 5.
Yeah, well within range of the volatility Tesla has been kind of showing us. But stepping above some prior day levels, and we've been doing that back to back since we got that gap down on Monday, July 7th. coming into that week. Since then, we've been only making higher highs and higher lows, and today is a little bit more of the same, Neil, as even that pullback off of the highs in the morning session pulls back to prior day's highs and then gives us a beautiful continuation push back into these levels here at 330. So last week, we were just talking about how that 320s, sellers at that 320s might need to lift for us to kind of really convincingly push. It seems like today is the day that's really kind of pushing that perspective as well. Looking at the weekly at the same time, you can see how this structure is starting to form here as well. A little bit of a higher low relative to the 220s that we held just in April.
It is VinFast, everybody, and big news for Vietnam's green mobility shift. And a big win for VinFast, which is VFS on the Nasdaq. Starting on the 1st, 2026 of July, Hanoi will ban gas-powered motorcycles in its city center, kicking off a nationwide move toward electronic transport. VinFast is in a prime position to benefit. With major investments in EV tech, battery production, and charging networks, it has a strong head start. While others scramble, VinFast is ready. And this policy only sharpens its edge. Scan the QR code you see in front of you, VFS over there on the Nasdaq. Pretty looking vehicle as well. And if you're a mean reversion trader, a pretty looking chart up next.
All right, guys, Hood next over here. Big move up in the pre-market, but an upside down V retracement. We're still positive on the day. It was really this catalyst that was driving it up. The Clarity Act passes in the House. It now makes its way out to the president's desk for signing, guys. So, sorry, that one actually goes to the Senate. It's the Genius Act that goes to the president's desk, but nonetheless, a good week for crypto.
Great week for crypto. But I mean, you had Robinhood for the reversion play, and it was absolutely perfect.
I mean, it was beautiful.
I'll let you take it.
All right, okay. I mean, I've talked about this one a little bit earlier. Strong push off of the open. I was not involved with the bid. That bid came in absolutely beautifully. You can see strong volume pushing through the pre-market highs. Pre-market trend is also up. Morning drive is also up. But finally, when that bid starts to dissipate and that volume starts to fall off, underneath that 13 halves area, you can see the structure starts to slow down. And I was talking about just watching that tape and watching the book as well, looking at if sellers are really starting to step in and are we actually starting to change hands. And that definitely did start to happen pretty aggressively going into that structure break. So yeah, I did get a little bit involved, but my issue with this trade is that I didn't stay involved. And I'm finding that some of my trades as of recent that are working really well, I'm finding that I'm getting out of them a little too early. There is no real reason to kind of stop selling this stock as it's continuing to just hold that trend. Sure, you break that morning momentum. We've had a pretty strong week on a lot of these stocks. And Hood coming in with that hype, also options expiry. You can add a bunch of factors of confluence that you want to look at as well. Wiping the whole day, I was not looking for that. Wiping back to open, sure, I started looking for that once we started to hold VWAP pretty well. But giving it that space and that respect to hold onto the position and give it the continuation that it deserves, I think that's what I'm missing from here. Beautiful trend. Didn't know that this was going to happen. Was well poised to take the trade though. But the continuation, the exits, the trailing stop can definitely be worked on this one.
Big time. And I can tell you right now, like if you were like trading in some of that fintech early, like Robinhood did the reversion. And when that was happening, I went from like scalping long all morning on bull to trying to short it. And at some point, it just turned into, wait a minute, for whatever reason, this one doesn't want to go down. Let's just play all the longs we can. And if it gets to VWAP, respect the fact that I don't know what's going on. Maybe not VWAP. Okay, don't short it, Neil, because it's right on the trend line. All-day trend line on bull right now, which is a relatively strong one. Usually you'd want to short that. But as I said, these names had all been pulling back all day. If I have to make an educated guess as to why bull might be continuing its run while the rest of these cohorts reverse, well, maybe not as directly tied to crypto to a certain extent, but the other side of it might just be the structure of where it's come from and what it's trying to do. It's just a little bit more of like a squeeze off the low. Whereas if you look at the chart of Robinhood compared to Webull, I'm just trying to explain like the difference. The chart of Robinhood on a daily compared to Webull speaks for itself. So which one is more likely to sell off on positive news? You know, not the one that's been beaten up and is bouncing off the lows. It's the one that's at the highs. And I think a lot of people are like, why was Netflix down? Well, I mean, come on, like it's been rallying for weeks upon months now. So a lot of times that's what happens at the top. There's a little bit of profit taking. The stock that we're about to talk about next, people know a lot about that. Oh, before we do that though, you know, it's worth, we're not going to ignore what's going on. IonQ just made a topping tail candle up 5%. There's some selling starting to come into this, so I'd be careful if you're watching QBTS. IonQ was the leader today. Yesterday, the leader was QBTS. The day before, the leader was Rigetti. But IonQ with a pullback, which means QBTS starting to pull back, and likewise, you should, I mean, I haven't looked at it in a second, but yeah, Rigetti also starting to pull back. And I know that's probably the worst trail out you're going to see today. Here, you know what? If you tuned in today, then you at least saw the single worst trail out by a trader on July 18th, 2025, and that was me getting out of Rigetti. Let's go talk about another stock, which was a reversion off the bottom. Palantir.
Yes, sir. Definitely an interesting move. Look, it was quite consolidative in the pre-market, sold off a little bit there after the bell, but it had yet another all-time high day yesterday. So Palantir, no specific headline, guys, on Palantir on the day, but yeah, hanging out near those all-time highs.
So I'm a little bit surprised because I stopped looking at Palantir after it retook VWAP. It never really broke out the high, so it's not hitting any of those types of scanners for you. But here's the thing with Palantir. Since it's gotten to the top, like look at the channel on this stock on the daily for Palantir. And I get it, valuation, yada, yada, yada. Trend is the trend, and so just respect the trend. Remember when we were drawing this, and it's like it keep bouncing off the bottom, it bounced on the bottom, and it was right around here. Like, do you not think it's going to get to the top of the range? I mean, it has every other time. Say that wrong. So you get there on a Friday and 155 ends up resistance. The only way I would have shorted the top, I think, is if it would have broken the trend line at the high, which would have been closer to 157 and then failed. We were discussing that. Like, and under what conditions would I have shorted it up here? Only if it broke the trend line today. It didn't. So you had to wait and wait and wait for the trend to break, and it actually did it for you twice. You could have had it at 1 o'clock as well. And this is the thing. Palantir has an absolute habit of dipping and reversing and dipping and reversing, or sometimes quick, sometimes not. But if you're patient enough, when it's in one of its down moves, the amount of patience required at the open is insane. We see it time and time again. But if you wait long enough, you will find it'll break the trend once it's established a good one, and then you just play the momentum on Palantir. And I'm going to keep that channel up on the daily. I'm going to use it as my guide. Might be doing a little something here, Palantir trying to go, but my eyeballs on Open and Tesla and some of the quantum names, and of course Amazon at that 226, which is coming right back in.
Yeah, that held offer there.
Yeah, this is wild. They're gonna break it eventually.
So what's your plan with that? You want to take push through that? Yeah.
I want to reverse. I'll say that and watch me like not get the fill reversing from short to long, which happens sometimes. I've been like you get out, but you don't get the long.
Yeah, no, that definitely happens to the best of us sometimes. Palantir, though, a bit of a false break of those pre-market highs. I didn't really notice this off of the open there. I was looking for a long continuation through prior day's highs, looking for that thing that Palantir has been doing pretty much every day, which is printing some fresh highs. Of course, coming into the Friday, we have not done that yet, with a little bit of structure forming with higher highs and lower highs and lower lows as well. Right here, day low coming in at 151.90, but pretty much sideways consolidation. So like, I'm not really too, I guess, involved or concerned with this stock as of today, but you can see right there decent opportunities where you have maybe some selling off of the open, some structure break pushing back up, reversion of that push, which seems to be like an extension off of okay, maybe not off of VWAP, but off of the day low as well. Look at that back through coming in with some volume on the back through of that VWAP as well. So interesting stuff on Palantir, but again, I don't think this was necessarily the top idea on the day. Definitely was one on the basket of names to watch, though.
You know what I think? One thing that this type of market is teaching me specifically, all right, Amazon's going to break, is that if you have something that's a top idea, because the market itself has been relatively range bound, so if you have something that's a top idea one day, I don't think you want to, just because it didn't work that day, don't give up on it the next day. Like, be willing to go back over to it. I'm thinking that way about those quantum names. Like, if you were really just like sticking with it, they cannot break this guy at 226 on Amazon. Like, it is insane. Look at that. Like, they're just holding it clean. Like, every single time, refresher at 226. It's only 100 shares display, but they just keep on offering and offering and offering.
Bezos said he was selling some more as well, right?
Look, it could be
you
that.
Think it's another Bezos wall?
Could be another Bezos sell. But just to finish the thought, like, give it the chance. Anything that you liked the day before, that was good the day before, give it the chance to work throughout the week. Because if you stuck with the quantum names a little bit more heavily, like, I'm kicking myself for not sticking with Spaghetti.
Me too, dude.
And look, that's just all it is. But like, you can sit there, don't get your head down or whatever it might be. You just move on to the next opportunity in the next trade, whatever that's going to be. Age said, would you say that this year's market is unique in your experience, or is it pretty normal market business? Oh, I'd say this is pretty unique. So I've been through, like, whether it's the financial crisis, the Greek debt crisis, like, there's all kinds, like COVID, like, you see all of these different types of markets. We had a little bit of the tariff strife in the first term with the president, but it wasn't anything like this. Like, this is a little bit more. It's like everything coming off the back of COVID, with the amount of money printing and certainly what that did to juice up asset prices, and then throwing all this tariff stuff and the activity, let's just say the volatility we have now on the back of that, with the Fed really trying to figure out how to deal with the inflation. Like, there's just a lot going on. You don't see that same kind of combination play out. Look, you've never seen a market exactly like it. We have seen, like, we've traded around some tariff talk before. We've traded around, I say we because I'm talking like myself, Sean. Like, most of us have, if you've been around a while, traded around inflation, Fed, whether the Fed's raising or lowering rates, all those different cycles. If you've been around a couple of decades, you've seen them. But this is absolutely unique. Absolutely unique. And you have to be able to adapt to it and try to tailor your style. One of the most difficult things, I think, for a lot of new traders is if they come, like, for the traders that started out in 08 in the financial crisis, where it was really easy to make money in momentum, relatively speaking, or during COVID, those are the hardest times to learn when everything is so simple. I think when you get a more complex and nuanced market to trade, if you figure things out there, you have better, a lot of traders find they have better long-term success. So it can be a boon if you're kind of figuring things out in this market, I think. Let's go over to Adara at the desk.
Here is the market. I just want to let you guys know Donald Trump is set to begin, I guess now, about 5 minutes ago at 2:30 p.m. We're going to have this Stablecoin Act or Genius Act signing ceremony where Trump signs the bill. Right now, the stream just shows the White House, so it looks like they are a little bit delayed, but hopefully they're not too late because we do want to give all of that signing ceremony coverage for you. I will keep you guys posted. Be aware, Trump will be signing this stablecoin related Genius Act very soon. Back to you.
Feed the Thinker, 100% I have a stop on Amazon. And I actually just changed the stop so that it'll flip me long in the single order, which I don't know why I wasn't doing that first, because I'm going to take a shot at the long trade if we break out this high on Amazon. And look, and everyone has their own style. I'm not giving a reversal long a ton of room. It better work right away, because when you have a refresher like this, if it breaks, I'm expecting it to go instantly on Amazon. But let's go back over to some of the quantum names because I want to see how. I mean, you could sit there staring at pain. If Amazon, either it's going to break or it's going to fall back down. That's great. We'll see. When one of those two things happen, we'll let you know. IonQ is still pulling back. Yeah, it's starting to slow down a little bit. Let me double check what Rigetti is doing. Rigetti, that's a deep pullback, but Rigetti's pullback is into prior highs. The last thing you want to do is get into something because you have FOMO with it. But this is a pretty reasonable setup. I just need to have IonQ up somewhere. I don't have enough level 2. Because I got Tesla, Open, Amazon.
We need more screens. Don't you know the saying, Neil? More screens, more money.
Not true. I might sit these one out. But like this is a pretty decent dip off the highs. Right into the tops. But I'm going to stick with, I don't want to focus on too many things. I have an order to break out Tesla. It could be reversed into Amazon. Open, I mean, it's consolidating over this high. But it's not breaking the top, not really dipping down far enough. But I want to keep this one. I want to keep my options open with this to keep an eye on it because the way it rinsed yesterday to be trying to break out the high, I like that. You just want to see the volume pick up. It's a Friday, so it's not as if you want to be over trading and creating trades out of thin air or over trading. That's a good way to lose money when you're up on a Friday and. You know, it's been a good day, and you don't want to be giving it back just because you're forcing opportunities. All right, Amazon might be the first thing to move, as it's right back at that top.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm watching it close, man. I just messaging the pod there, just being like, okay, this is kind of looking like that 200 lid when Bezos was selling. Aggressive bids into the level, just stop dead in their tracks, maybe a 1 penny push. If it does break, what I want to see is if it does break, maybe it snaps like 20, 30, 50 pennies and then insta slam back down, kind of that order potentially stepping back in. That's kind of what I want to see. But this ARCA reserve is still sitting here. You can see Buddy just chilling on this. So this ARCA guy right here is showing one lot is just chilling there. Oh boy, what's happening here on Rivian? Okay, so Rivian maybe taking a little bit of a pullback here. So I was initially short, and the stop order pushes it back long, and I'm like, all right, the reason to kind of get out was the false break of prior day high, but if we're going to hold on to it, I'm holding on to this a little bit longer just to see how much further it can go. So we did get from 55s to 80s, and I've pieced out of most of that flip. But now watching this 226s, Neil, as I mean, you know what? I think it's definitely worth a try a little bit under it, but we've been building into it. What time is it? It's about 2:38. What is the market looking like as well? I want to see that if we rip up in the market, we may have a chance of breaking through this 226 as well. So maybe on the downtrend break of this, but this 226 holding as of right now. So I do want to take a feel, and you know what? I do want to take a feeler and just take a stab at it. We'll see how that one works out. And if it does push, I want to know how far it pushes me out. So that's the real question here. Off of that 226. So let's see if we can work against that level there and see if Buddy's going to hold on for dear life with that iceberg order. I love it. I love it when you can identify an ice on a large cap like that. It's absolutely awesome. And I have still yet to figure out effective ways to potentially play around it. But I understand some of the ways that players do that really well as well. So yeah, we'll see. Rivian pulling back in, so I do want to kind of push out of most of that there. We'll leave the rest on to see what that does. IonQ, man, that was the one. That was the crazy one, and I did not stay involved with that one, so it is what it is. I got to do a little bit better with sticking with the top ideas, even if they're say they don't work right away, right, Neil? They don't work right away, that's okay. You can still be right on the idea, but the timing is what makes you absolutely wrong. That is worth continuing to keep an eye on. So if IonQ was one of my top ideas, we know that quantum has been running, and I was getting involved in the morning session. I got to do a little bit better with staying involved with stuff that I think is really strong probability.
Keep an eye on some of those crypto and fintech names.
Yeah.
Circle seems to be.
They're starting to curl. Hood has broken that downtrend, by the way. Hood already started to break that downtrend a little bit earlier.
Circle already broke it too a while ago. It's just taken a while to get there. look, these might all start to recover. If you start, like if Circle picks up steam, it was look, Circle was the leader this morning. That's the only reason I'm referencing it. Let me do the usual perusing through. ETH is doing absolutely nothing. But you know what? ETH is off the lows already. Like that just tells ETH is doing really well in all of this, relatively speaking, because the sell the news abated a while ago. Bitcoin, I don't know what to tell you. You should be looking at XRP, which I think, what can I quote that? It was XRPI is the only way I can really quote this and show you the momentum. So XRP is bounced. It's not the best ETF, but it's the one I can show you without going to TradingView. And ETH looking very good, Bitcoin languishing a bit, Circle holding the low. As you said, Robinhood already breaking trend. This could be, there's good runway to VWAP on Robinhood. And it's right at a good resistance spot, opening range bottom as well. This would be a nice place for it to just, I want to see the volume and tape start to pick up in this area. Oh, it is.
See, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Look, that was wild. It just started picking up as I pulled over to it.
It pulled back into this, so again, trend resistance, turning into trend support, and that support holding once again as well. So yeah, I was watching this and I was like, Hood, this could be a place to get back in, and I was just like, all right, I don't really necessarily want to get involved with it, but it worked out. A bit of a miss for me. I think ideal entries probably on some structures, but it definitely has the ability to continue pushing it. It's breaking out of some of these prior structures here. That prior support coming in at 109, just shy of 109.40, 109.38 I'm seeing here on the Hood. Let's go through some of these leaders of volume in the market and
Amazon
take a look
right there again.
at the push. Yeah, I am involved with a little bit of Amazon. I'm just stopping out if it does break with any sort of distinction. I want to take a feel for that 226 held offer for now. Yeah, Open Door came all the way back up. Lucid, Neil, Lucid held pretty well prior day's lows. You can see that right here. Oh boy, a bit of a held offer. 280s. We said yesterday's low, intraday low was 282, 283. Yeah, 283 right there. Today's low, 287, so not too far off. Still holding within range, so maybe more of a windup that we're seeing here on Lucid. So one to watch out for. UAVS took a bit of a landing after the morning session, but maybe back into some VWAP area, some prior structures as well. Held some of those pre-market lows pretty decently, but I don't know how many of you are trading UAVS today. Let me know in the chat if you guys are. Interesting stuff here. Grind up off of the open, break of trend. Sellers come in, slam all the way down into 11 as well. Who is this? Telomere Pharmaceuticals. Oh boy. Okay, all right. This is interesting. I want to know what they're up to. But breaking this trend into VWAP. VWAP hold off of the open and take a look at some of those lows. $2. Oh boy. Didn't really know what that stock was until now, but Telomere Pharmaceuticals seems interesting.
Have a good one,
Sharif. Have a good weekend. QuantumScape as well. I know a lot of people have been involved with QS pretty adamantly over the past few days, and rightfully so. It's been running back-to-back days as it's aggressively catching that bid day after day. So $15 on the horizon. High of day currently, Neil, is $14.99. Get it here first because it might be on sale. I don't know. But nice little consolidation break
that price
on that push. $14.99 on QuantumScape. So NVIDIA obviously not really doing anything too crazy. Lick grab of prior day's high, but holding that prior day's range pretty well going into the end of the week. Big Bear AI, oh boy, this thing was number 2 on the list of volume leaders yesterday, much further below on the day today. 100 million shares traded, sideways consolidation. Maybe this is another one of those leg consolidation. I don't know what comes next, but I'm going to be watching this today's range on Monday when that potentially comes in. Warner Brothers, ESM? No, this is Tesla. Oh boy. So Tesla is still kind of trying to test that high a day, Neil. 330.84s. Yes, sir.
Not to interrupt, but I got to show what just happened on like Amazon. I think what happened is the guy released for a split second.
Yeah, it did pop above.
It popped.
Yeah.
I just jumped right back in because like whatever. I'm not like forget that. Like it basically didn't even move. So I got out,
we went to 02.
but I just jumped back in. The actual high of the day on Amazon is 06, 05. So really, unless it breaks 5, it hasn't broken the high of the day. So I jumped right back in the short. I'll still reverse it, but maybe at the high of the day instead. So I have to get those bids back out there in a quick little second. And before I get to the super chat, I did get into, like, it was weird, Robinhood, right? Like it was just kind of starting to go. And I was like, oh, this looks pretty good, breaking this area here. So I got into the long, and it just started going. So hopefully this can get to, I'm looking at 110 more than VWAP here on Robinhood as a target, just a scalp trade. I think overall, the trend to the downside has to convince me more than this. Like, Circle's barely even moving. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think this is that big of a move so far in Circle. So we'll take the scalp trade for sure. And then 2 things. 1, thank you so much. All 10 memberships from Nimrod. Hopefully I'm getting it right this time. Appreciate you. Always a fantastic supporter of the show. 10 memberships that got gobbled up. And Alpha Cry, bro, can you check out, I like that. Bruh. Can you check out Flocky looking immense? I don't even know what that is. Well, let's go to Adara. Let me know.
Keep an eye here in ZIP or ZIP, Zip Recruiter. Volume on this just under 1 million shares of the day, so not super significant, but we just got a pop here. We had Marcus Lemonis, who is a TV personality and businessman. He's the CEO of a company, and he had his own CNBC reality show. Anyways, he just announced here on X that he's partnering up with Zip Recruiter, so ZIP got a little bit of a bump there. Also, I just want to mention to you guys, we're still waiting for the signing bill event to start. Right now, they're playing some live jazz music. We do see Johnson sitting there in the front row. President Trump yet to arrive, but when he does, you guys will be the first to know. Back to you.
All I got to say is this. Yes. I got it. I'm finally pronounced Nimrod correctly. And he said, so don't at me and say you're still saying it wrong, because straight from the horse's mouth, he said we got it right. I don't know what a floki is, and I just looked it up. So here, you want us to pump this. Congratulations if you got it. I don't know anybody. I just looked it up, and you can find it on Kraken. What's it doing right now? I don't know why it always goes to USD. There you go. Oh, no, it's going to the downside. But, oh, yay, over 24 hours, it's absolutely flying. Don't know anything about it, but you sent a super chat. So I've now educated myself on another one of the altcoins there. So good luck with it. I will not be getting involved at any point in it because I'm a Bitcoin. Look, I do hold some others, but as a percentage of my crypto holdings, anything that is not Bitcoin is a very small percentage. So I did get out and jump back into Amazon when it held that level. Going to be scalping this thing because at some point this is going to break. It is going to break, everybody. And I do. Oh, you're going to be visiting Ontario in August? Oh, yes. That sounds like, can't wait to see you, Nimrod. Hopefully you can. That'd be great. Just going to go back over to Robinhood. I know we're going to go back over to Adara. Almost instantly, we're finding resistance at the $0.50 on Robinhood. There's just no big follow through. You got so much off the low, and already there's a nice buyer at 13s, like 109 13s here. Hopefully that can push it a little bit higher, but it's starting to run out of volume and steam on this little bit of a push in scalp trade on Robinhood. Adara? Oh,
so guys,
what?
Beta Pro by
my bad.
Global X. Savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3 times daily leveraged ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. What's up, Adara?
Trump just started speaking here about the Genius Act, saying, quote, they named it after me. I think he was joking, and, quote, this is a hell of an act. So Trump is in fine form, very excited here about this brand new Genius Act that he's about to sign. Keep an eye on CRCL, keep an eye on MSTR, keep an eye on COIN, any crypto-related plays, I would say. Given the relation to stablecoins and this bill, I would especially keep an eye on CRCL and COIN. Those two are the most closely related to stable coins, especially Circle. Again, market and crypto on watch here. Donald Trump currently signing this Genius Act. He will likely be speaking for a bit. That's usually what happens. And if there's anything of note being said, especially about crypto, or if we get any questions, I'll let you know. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dara.
That's hilarious.
You're welcome, President Trump.
It's so gangster. Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
At least it's not dull.
At least it's not what?
At least things aren't dull.
Yeah, no, definitely not dull with President Trump in office.
Oh, my goodness.
Never a dull day. It's absolutely beautiful.
You won't get that kind of excitement out of the Prime Minister of Canada. That's for sure.
No.
He's boringly awesome. but very boring.
Yes.
I mean, like, over the top boring, for sure. Look, there's not too much happening. I mean, we're sustaining a little bit of this move that's happening in Robinhood. Amazon is kind of like going, it came right back in, and it's giving you at this point about 15 to 20 pennies off the top and no further if you're short in front of that 226. What else is going on? Open is actually continuing its run higher. Now I got to zoom that chart back out.
Oh, so it was open for fresh highs.
Now it's breaking out the highs. So there's the high. You can still see, you guys can see that. The high is now being broken. It's 230 is the high. It's right at 29. Not a lot of size on the offer of open. For a stock that's done 450 million, almost 500 million shares here, there's only, I eyeball it, like 500,000 shares on the offer when it's done almost 500 million. So if it gets there, it should have no trouble pushing through that price. You need to see like 10 million, and then I think there would be some trouble up there for sure. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to come up with like a random pun for this, but 39% after what happened yesterday on open, that is pretty spectacular. What's crazy about this is you could almost, like, instead of, you know, when there's a top break and you put your stop order, if it breaks 30, you go long 31, 32. You could almost just old school sit here and maybe try to hit the 30 level. Get yourself an extra penny. Because that's what you used to be able to do. Like, you used to never use stops for levels like that. You would just hit it as it goes before Reg NMS. And that was so much better for breakouts when you were, if you were a human trader. Let's go back over to Adara. Remember, anytime you're signing a bill, other stuff can be happening too.
Actually, isn't about Trump. I do want to thank someone in the chat by the name of Strayhawk for bringing this up to me. There could be a new S&P 500 announcement tonight. We know that Hess is being acquired here by Chevron, so that does leave a spot open. Now, there are two companies that have been discussed as potential ads for a really long time now. This is one of them, app-loving, APP. The other one here is HOOD, Robinhood. So both of these could be on watch. Now, they've been actually kind of not in the last couple times. They have unfortunately been shunted, for lack of better terms. We did have Coinbase added recently. We also had the addition of Datadog. Let's see if this is the time for either app-loving or Robinhood to shine if they are announced tonight. Again, I will certainly keep you guys posted. We're not going to get any kind of announcement usually till 5 p.m. or later, but if we hear anything, I will let you know. Back to you.
Push? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh-oh, Robinhood's back to break even. I'm just going to get out if I can. Gimme. Yeah, sorry, like Robinhood just came right back in. It's just such a muted push, and I don't want to get trapped in a sell the news type of event here. So yeah, I gave you like a little scalp trade, like 25 pennies or so, but you're getting the same thing out of Amazon here in front of that 226 seller. I'm always bidding at like there we go. So that was me. Didn't I cancel that order? There you go. Thought I'd cancel that order to come up with a few pennies there and get some more out. Apparently I hadn't, so it's a scalp trade on Amazon. What else are you guys looking at? Nvidia's breaking down. The market got to VWAP, by the way. So this is also happening. The market got to the volume-weighted average price. Let you guys see this better. Got to the volume-weighted average price and another stair step down. Overall, I know we're only down 0.2%, but we are trending down in the market. That's going to help the Amazon trade. I wouldn't say Nvidia is breaking down. Man, I have a terrible trail out in Nvidia too. I had to go to my bank and just whatever. So I had to go for a bit of a walk. I don't usually do that.
Right.
And like the trailing stops that I left are just god awful. They're just terrible, man. Like I got trailed out of Nvidia at the worst possible price. I got trailed out of, this is why I don't like leaving the building. I got trailed out of Rigetti at like the worst possible price. I hate leaving the building during the trading day. Like I've never been the person who I go for a walk here or there because I'd rather be constantly evaluating instead of just getting up and leaving an order. Yeah, because then that happens to you, and then you're just like, because even if I have that trailing stop, if I'm sitting here to observe what happens when I get that trail out, I can hop back into the trade. But if you're not here, you can't do that. So I've always been a sit your butt in the desk and stay at work.
Yeah, I got to do a little bit better with that.
Like that's the perfect example. Like what do you want? Like happened to me twice because I had to go get up and something that I just didn't want to do tomorrow because I'm going to the baseball game. I could have gone to my bank tomorrow on Saturday and not missed out on opportunity.
So we got a couple of super chats here. I don't know if we've covered them already. Did we cover the ABAT one? Alex, thank you very much for the super chat. Is ABAT on your watch list? Thank you, Alex, for that one. And Alpha Cry, bro, can you check out Flocky? You checked that one?
Well, first of all, I had to look it up to know that was an altcoin.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but we didn't check out
ABAT. Take a look at ABAT. Yeah, let's take a look at that one here real quick. I can pull it up here right after we come back from Madeira.
Just keep an eye here on NVTS. Nice little rally for Navitas. It's worth noting volume on this, not bad. Navitas Semiconductor, about 24 million shares traded on the day, so pretty impressive. Good look. Zero Gravity Zen also mentioning here in the chat, thank you. The S&P edition today is TTD. Yes, but because we have a new acquisition being made, there actually could be another potential announcement as well. We're going to have to wait and find out. Just due to the fact that Hess is being acquired. So if there's anything on watch, I will certainly let you guys know. But I guess TTD, I believe, might have already been at it as well. So just keep an eye on these markets. And as we continue to have Trump talk, back to you.
Okay, so this is who it was. Before we go to anything else, it was Jayesh. Hopefully I get that right. Thank you. Because I think what happened was a lot of people, I don't know if it was one or two, but whatever. There were a few people that were mentioning Amazon. And then the second you pull it up, all you got to do is be looking at it. And then I think you would have noticed what was going on. So this was when I had noticed it because some people were mentioning it in the chat.
Right.
So I saw this and I shorted that. And then all of a sudden it jams up. And I don't know what was going on here other than technically bouncing.
Someone slapped
it.
Yeah.
But I was late anyways. And so when it got back up top, it just shorted it and shorted it and shorted it. Now remember, okay, here's the thing. There was a day a couple of years ago where there was a level like this on Apple. I think it was at $180 a couple of years ago where all during lunchtime, everybody was shorting in front of a similar seller on Apple 180. What I can tell you is if you stayed as aggressive each time, right, meaning you're taking the same amount of shares or more,
every time,
you gave everything back with the amount of slippage on the Apple break. So my suggestion was for me, it's each time you should like it less.
Yeah, okay,
and
so
that
you take
way,
the most the first time.
You take ideally your heaviest short, here's the top, you know it's the high, refresher. The third time, so in here, you're probably the most aggressive. And then, okay, it comes back there again, maybe you're still doing the same or maybe a little bit less, and a little bit less, and a little bit less. That way, if it breaks, you don't give everything back. That's the ideal way to play it. So in my brain, I'm trying to ignore this trade because it has nothing to do with the top up here. Because the more times it bounces off that level, the more people want to be engaged in the short. Right? So therefore, there's more people punching out if it breaks, creates more slippage, and then instead of getting out here, you're getting out potentially somewhere off the page. Depending on how good your stop order is, use your best possible stop order if you can. Which reminds me, I want to put that back in because our best stop order, Obi.
Yes, sir.
The one that we like to use, you actually have to, I have an automatic one, so get out of everything, right? Just
right.
100%, but it's not the fastest order. What I like to do sometimes is cancel it, which I just did now, because I'm not necessarily reloading yet, cancel it and use what's going to be a better order for the fill. and use an edge A, which is a better stop. So it's power hour right now. I think at some point Amazon is likely, if we keep testing it, to make that breakout.
Knock, knock.
Oh no, open, no.
What opened? Bless you.
Sorry, guys. I tried to angle away from my microphone and it probably didn't work. I was trying to type in open because I just saw on my chart. Did it kind of work? Oh, great. I always do Blue Ocean just comes to the top of the list in our drop down. So if I hit enter too fast, I get that. Oh no, open did not make the breakout. So it wicked above the high, but did not really get through. And there's your pullback on volume. So it doesn't really hold above the top for a break. Well, I guess we'll give it a little bit. I want to see it settle down. Let's see it put in a higher low. And maybe it's worth it trying to get inventory back into the top. But this is why you don't want to just blindly punch in on a top break on a Friday where the market's not doing anything. Especially, I mean, the volume's okay on this one, so I guess you can't really knock that for volume. Just be very, very careful, everybody, with this. Appreciated. Open. Yeah, that's a good point. Front porch trader. It's just fine. Like if you're long in this trend, it's just fine. I'm just simply saying if you're just taking this top break and you have long 30, 31 right now, well, you're asking yourself, what the heck do I do with it? That's why I don't like these at this time of day. If it's on some crazy Momo trade, like a Tesla, where you can just get the break at 31 and scalp the first dollar, so who cares if it comes back right away? Fine, but you really want this to work right away. Otherwise, you could be giving up 5%, 10%, which not everybody wants to do. Oh my goodness, Webull is going. And Chef Joe, we haven't looked at Dell. How many days this week have we not pulled up Dell?
Every day since, I guess.
And what has Dell been doing?
Straight up.
Winning is what Dell has been doing.
What is going on?
It's just a pure.
It's just running with the quantum names, because Dell and Honeywell are both in my quantum basket as well.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember, there's quantum names that are just easier holds than some of the risk names, right? Like whether it's Alphabet, IBM, Dell. Those are the type. They're all able to benefit from this. It's just some of them. You also get a stable company along with it instead of one that makes a few, tens of thousands of dollars in revenue with $1 billion market cap, which would be the ones that we always trade, which is fine because they move the most, but also the most risk if you hold them in your long term. But Dell, very, very clean breakout here for Dell, and we're going to Adara for some breaking news.
Just be aware here, Trump is actually naming specific business leaders right now. The first person he mentioned was Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, saying he's doing a great job. He also just, I believe, announced the CEO of Circle, saying he's doing a great job as well. So Tether CEO just mentioned as well, keep an eye on some of these names. They're not really reacting, but Donald Trump is naming people who are involved in these fintech or crypto-related names. We have Visa as well, just being named, saying, oh, great company. Rumble CEO Chris Pavlovsky is here. So RUM actually getting a pop. Rumble is the only one reacting to having its CEO named by Donald Trump at this event. Also, just be aware, Donald Trump said as well, we have a couple big trade letters going out. They could be going up today. He also said that when he sends out the paper, that's a deal. Again, Trump has made it very clear that he views the deal being made as of when he has sent out the tariff letters. Also, Vlad Tenev of Robinhood just being thanked and acknowledged here by Donald Trump. Again, the only stock that moved on this was Rumble. Back to you.
Yeah, slight move, but already starting to come back in is Rumble. For sure. And let me just double check what's going on over there. And wow, Circle right back into the low of the day here. They cannot catch a bid whatsoever. I think it was the right call to take what we could get. Robinhood's not doing much. Tried to continue that breakout into VWAP on Robinhood. Immediately the bid came out of it. I still think we're rolling over. Like right now, you can risk pennies to be off the top in Amazon if you think the market's coming back in. And then that will start to sell off. So it definitely makes sense. Dax Ryan, yeah, Rumble sneezed in that moment. That's about the extent of the move. It just basically sneezed is the only thing that it did.
Sneeze, more like a hiccup.
A hiccup. Oh, I mean sneeze because I'm always sneezing all the time.
Sneezes are a little bit more violent, I would say. Sneezes can shake you up. A hiccup is just like a...
Some people hiccup like Some people have aggressive hiccups.
Some people have, but think about it. On the scale of aggressiveness, hiccups versus sneezes, what has a more what can go on more of an aggressive spectrum? Right?
Okay, well,
it goes much
I'm not
further.
disagreeing. You're obviously correct.
Sometimes I sneeze and it feels like my soul has left my body. You know what I mean? Like that's how aggressive sneezes can get sometimes.
But that's literally why you say bless you. Oh, okay. That's what you're doing. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, I just did that.
Amazon Wall is still sitting here, man. And MSTR, some people in the chat were talking about MSTR, and oh boy, this is the name that we have to kind of be watching today. Aggressive trend. The only one that I'm seeing with such a directional trend, of course, as I say that, I'm like, oh, Dell, of course, to the upside. But in terms of the crypto names, crypto-related names, the only one I'm seeing with such an aggressive sell coming in right off of the open. Some of these other names did catch a bit of a bid. So distinctly different here is MSTR. So I want to take a look at a higher time frame right away. I'm going to go to a 3-hour, an hourly, whatever you want to choose, just to take a look at some prior structures and see where we are located in the landscape of price action that's been printed so far. So, all right, so coming into some prior highs here from, when is this, from May 2025. So majority of the month of May is when this prior structure was formed. We're coming back into those. So let's see if some of that prior resistance now turns support. Aggressive selling though, not very strong volume I'm seeing. It's pretty much a relatively similar volume. Let's take a quick look at the RVol indicator just to confirm that. Yeah, we're selling off with around 1.2 times the relative volume, whereas you can see some of these bids, some of these stronger days that did come in, look at that. 2.7, 1.8, but again, I gotta, maybe this is calculating some of this as well. So I gotta go back and see what the actual ATR is, but the 5-period ATR definitely on average is doing relatively normal volume, and that can be seen with some of the volume bars as well. Sergio B in the chat saying, Neil versus Obi sneeze match. I don't know about that.
I literally sneeze 10 times more than anyone else on the show.
Yeah.
Because of my allergies. So like that's really not much of a challenge.
No, yeah, not much of a challenge. Yannick Nesbeth in the chat saying, Obi, would you take the reversion on MSTR on a day like today? What time is it? 3:07? Unless and until something aggressive started to happen, I probably would not touch this, even if this started to break any sort of a trend, because of how aggressively sold off it is, and because of how we're kind of breaking below some of these days' lows that did do that relative volume, right? Coming into last Friday, we did some significant volume on that day, some decent volume the day after as well. We pretty much wiped all of those prices. So anybody and everybody who has been long over the past 5 or 6 days is now underwater on MSTR. So that is, I guess, a good look in terms of just trying to assess who is offside. So short-term participants, maybe on the weekly, the longs are definitely offside coming into the end of the week with a little bit of a flush. Today's OPEX. Today's also, there's a bunch of options, expiry things that are happening on the day today. So would I take the reversion on this specifically? Probably not. It has to do some specific things for me to even consider that. But I'm looking at it. I'm watching it. Monday, though, might be interesting. There were some aggressive bids coming in here on Amazon.
Yeah, it's trying to go again.
From the corner of my eye. Don't know what that is, but we're holding it pretty well. No size on that push, though, so just going to continue watching. I'm pretty light now. Let's see if it stops me out. Day high is 226.05s as of right now, and I'm more than willing to reload if it's going to show me more of the same near the highs, but making higher lows relatively on the day, as well as into this held offer on Amazon. It's very rare that you see something so obvious on a large cap Mag 7 stock.
Every now and then.
And the liquidity, you got to think about the liquidity that can be transacted against some of that size is absolutely intense. And again, an opportunity worth extracting from, in my opinion, for just quick scalps, if anything. But if that breaks, I think that's a trade in itself as well. If we can kind of build up a lot of pressure and finally push, market tailwind would definitely help, I would say so. But the market's still chilling around 23,200 on the Nasdaq and pretty much sideways consolidation since about 12:15 here on the ES. Can't really get anywhere distinctly far from the 6325, 6330 as well. So we'll wait and see. Where is the next opportunity? Where is the next trade?
Well, I gotta look.
Those are the questions I'm asking, Neil.
I gotta talk to Urban Trader here for a second because they were kind enough, to patiently ask about UAVS several times today. They got it's EBE TAC drone received blue UAS clearance from the Department of Defense. Obviously, that's going to be a good catalyst. It's not really doing a lot right now, but the volume is fantastic, 140 million. The more interesting thing is we know this group has been getting a lot of juice recently as the future of defense. Of course, drones are pretty much going to be it to the extent that, of course, that's what you want. And I think that's a good thing. But the 200 period here is a key close. So as it pulls back, because I'm going to show you like a 15-minute or a 3-minute after, and it's kind of boring, but it's holding right around this support at the 200 period. It's like theoretical support at about 205. And if you look at what's happening here, like above, consolidating and going, and then when it breaks, it flushes, and then it starts holding that level, and it starts holding that level. So there's a lot of gravity just barely above the $2 level here on UAVS. That's a key close price, right? So I think if you're looking continuation for it on Monday, like there's no volume right now. So if you're looking continuation on Monday into next week, you're going to want to see it hold this price area. Not like it can't print 199 or 202 or something like this, but breaking down, call it like under 185 or something would be a lot of trouble for UAVS. Amazon, same nonsense. I might just try to get another leg out, so we'll be really light on it if it breaks the high. So not a heck of a lot going on there. Open is still trying to break the top, but another fail off that high. This time, after seeing that rinse, I'm going to go with the buy the dip into the top strategy because of that bottoming tail getting bought right back up. But for now, let's go back to Adara.
Not much coming from Trump. He's finished thanking all of these business leaders in crypto. And also, interestingly enough, he actually did mention that he fired Gary Gensler and the crowd erupted in applause and cheers. So that was kind of probably the most interesting thing that's happened since I last checked in with you guys. But I'm not here to talk about President Trump right now. I want to mention comments being made by Fed's Goolsbee. He's being a little bit hawkish here, I would say. He's saying that multiple more months of benign inflation would make him more comfortable. He said that the drip announcements on tariffs mean that the Fed cannot make any arguments that the tariffs will lead to a one-time increase in price. And he's also saying, in response to these tariffs, that anything that makes it harder to figure out if we're on the path to that 2% inflation will automatically extend the timetable for rate cuts. We know Donald Trump wants these cuts sooner, but it seems like Fed's Goolsbee is kind of arguing that because the tariffs are so uncertain, it's actually making the timetable for rate cuts a little bit harder and a little bit longer potentially as well. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
I see. Thank you very much. And so, Thomas M., for anyone if you're just tuning in now, I totally get it. You're like, look at the ascending wedge on Amazon. Why would you be shorting it? Since about 1250, there has been a reserve offer of, it's got 100 shares display, specifically on ARCA, and they're just holding the offer. It cannot be broken. It released it for a split second about 30 minutes ago, and then just came right back on the offer. So the idea is, as a day trader, does it look like it's setting up for a long break? Sure it does. But you can also just be short directly in front and then scalp it out. So there's a couple of ways to play it. I'm just choosing the short right now in front. I know Obi is as well. Open. Look, I like the way that it rinsed here, if that makes any sense. Immediately bought right back up when it tried to break out the high. So I said, let me just buy the consolidation and kind of give it to this prior bar here. If it breaks down under, I'm really not risking a heck of a lot. Put a little at 1-to-1, which would be the high of the day, and then try to hold if we end up breaking out. I think it's a reasonable risk because, again, you're not risking a lot. And the way that this moved into this level, if you get even half that here, risking 5 cents on open, should be no trouble. And I would expect little to no slippage. The stock has done 500 million shares, so slippage is essentially non-existent. Wherever you put your stop, you're getting 1 penny better. End of story. Or, sorry, better, 1 penny worse at the absolute. We might even get the half print there. As long as you're using, I mean, we have the ability to use, like I can use an order to remove liquidity that has access to dark pool, so it swipes everything. So every now and then, when you're breaking out a level, you might get a half print. I find you don't get it as often as you think you should, but every now and then you do get it. What else we got going on? Jeffrey, I 100% agree with you. MSTR, but it's not just MSTR. Running out of steam and sell the news event. The difference between MSTR and the other fintech names, or sorry, the other crypto names that sold off today, would be that MSTR was already running into a brick wall before this. Because note what was not happening to MSTR the last couple of days. Pull up Circle's chart for the last 2 days. Right? Pull up ETH or XRP for the last little bit. The problem with MSTR is that during crypto week, IBIT was doing a whole lot of nothing. Absolutely nothing. And because of that, MSTR was just more prone to have something like this happen to it where it's going to dump. So yeah, it's selling off with everything else. Like it has a chart which doesn't look too much worse than Circle's if you measure it from the high. But it was so distinctly different because Bitcoin was not the vehicle. I didn't trade IBIT once during crypto week. I traded ETH, traded Circle, traded Hood and Webull and a bunch of other stuff, but I haven't touched IBIT for a very good reason because the fact is it's not moving, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We know that's how the cycles go. It goes Bitcoin moves, and then all the other crap starts moving after. You know, and then that's part of the cycle, and then when they're done with their nonsense, then Bitcoin starts going again. And so we just need to figure out when it is that we start going again, because this week was a sell the news type of event. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just what it is. We had a nice rally, and consolidations and pullbacks are perfectly healthy for sure. So, you know, look, if you believe Bitcoin's eventually breaking that 125 area, then MSTR is going to be fine. But if we're pulling back from here, we could have a chance to retest somewhere in the 109, 110 range, maybe 112, then MSTR is going to suck for a little bit. And that's part of the game.
Yeah, I think going forward, these next couple of weeks, especially MSTR, I really like what it's doing today, Neil, because it's so directional. I'm just like, okay, as soon as that selling is done, I like the reversion, but like I said before, I don't want to get involved with it. Not MSFT, that is a muscle memory, MSTR. Okay, so yeah, even if it does break, like what would you want to see here to take the reversion? I don't know, but I want to see some aggressive bidding and maybe starting to hold some of these prior structures on the way down, maybe with some increasing volume as well. Some strong levels of confluence for that show the bid actually stepping up. That's kind of what I want to see. But sellers are definitely in charge. And even if we do bid up, like what are the chances that we just do a dead cat bounce? And sure, a dead cat bounce would mean, you know, maybe $5 to $10 on the stock. Very well capturable, but still, is that something I really want to kind of push for? I have no idea. I'm going to wait till Monday for this one, or even sometime next week. Let's see if the selling continues. If the selling continues going into next week, I think that's going to be important to watch out for as well. This week was, like Neil said, the sell the news event, right? So a lot of these stocks, if they're going to catch these sells, the question becomes, how long have we been bidding for, right? Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at some of these charts. Now, when I say how long have we been bidding for MSTR, I want to take a look at Coin a little bit more. Coinbase, Webull, and what's the third one? Coinbase, Webull, and Robinhood, of course. I was trading that today. Robinhood, Webull, and Coinbase. Let's take a look at a higher time frame. Let's just go straight up to the weekly, right? Let's take a look at the weekly and see how we've been trending, because the trend on these has been pretty aggressive. And oh boy, Coinbase pushing for those all-time highs apparently as well. But you can see back-to-back weeks with some aggressive bidding. So coming into next week, do we see more of the same? Or were we just running up into this crypto week? That's the question I'm going to be asking. This is the trend that I'm looking at. Sure, MSTR, if you take a look at this one, this has also been in a bit of a strong uptrend, but 3 weeks of green and then coming in, wiping pretty much a decent chunk, if not all of the week. Week lows is what we're trading at right now on MSTR. So maybe some profit taking along the way. Let's take a look at Bull and Coinbase. I think we did look at Coinbase, Bull and Robinhood as well. Webull is finally starting to curl. So maybe Webull, sure, we're not really doing anything crazy, or we weren't doing anything crazy before, but now we're starting to get a start of a build-up and a curl on this name as well. So 16.15 currently trading. You can see it's broken that downtrend on a higher time frame. When you go to the weekly chart, it's come down from, oh boy, an all-time high of 79.56. That was post-IPO. I still remember that. What a beautiful swing short that was, coming back into those 954 lows, but the curl's coming in real nice with expanding volume as well. So Hood is the last one out of the bunch, and oh boy, Hood is absolutely crazy. Not one, not two, that's at least 3. No, I'm joking. There's a lot more of weeks in there. We can just quickly measure how many bars those are. All of these being green right here. So 10 days of straight green, 11, 12, with a couple of reds in between. So a total of maybe 15, around 15 weeks of straight bidding on Hood. Absolute grind up, and that doesn't include the base that we're already building and pushing off of. That 30 bounce was interesting. The breakout of that 66, what is that high? Let's see what that high is specifically. 66.91, and then all-time highs prior was 85s, and we blasted through both of those references with increasing volume, finally reaching that 100 mark on Hood. So let's see. Can we get a red week on Hood? Is that going to be the strong pullback? I have no idea, but for the past 10 weeks, we've been aggressively strong on Robinhood, more than a double up on this name.
Yeah, it is. That stock is an absolute beast. And Kumar in the chat was asking, like, do I think Circle could get back to 250? So I want to finish, because while on that same topic, for stocks like this, when you make a topping tail, this is akin to, like, think of it like earnings. Like, you want that settling period. Like, we had a big run up into what was a big event for the entire space, and now we've had the reaction. So you want to see how money reacts to it. That makes next week critically important for it. And the question on Circle was, do I think it's going back to 250 anytime soon? And I asked for what the time definition is. Obviously, that's not going to do it today. The way that you failed this, it's always funny to look at charts like this if you've made money long. And you're like, well, but the short was 10 times better or 100 times better. But the way you fail a move like this, I think for the short term, I don't want any part of that to the long side. The support, if we're guessing at, like, you're guessing at support in and around 210, like the prior highs. But the place that it bounced here was also an anchored VWAP from the bottom, which when you eyeball it, it's probably sitting, and it's going to be sitting a little bit higher now, probably just underneath 200, maybe a 193. I don't know if you can pull that up, but whatever it is, you're a hefty amount away from it as we speak. So usually when that question's asked, it's like, okay, well, that's because you're long in here and you want it to go back to 250. But if the support's off the anchor, which is somewhere down here, the only question you need to ask yourself is, from here to around that anchored VWAP, which I don't know precisely, but let's just say it's 190, is that acceptable risk for you in a swing trade? If that's part of your risk parameter, that's the support level that I think, so I wouldn't want to be long up here. I think if it pulled back and started bouncing in this range, that long into that kind of a support, that makes way more sense. That's why I want to see it drop a little bit further. And if it does, fair enough, we'll take I think it's worth taking shots at it a little bit lower. But the day that it reversed is a little bit trickier. As I keep looking across the space to see if any of these are going.
You want to know the anchored from the open?
Anchored from
the high?
IPO open.
IPO open is 189.89. So yeah,
okay,
pretty much 190. Yeah.
This is the thing I've been finding about anchored VWAP. And now I'm on the wrong chart. Is that without even having it up, I find it's not. And maybe I'm just okay. You know what? I'm realizing like I feel like I'll eyeball it after you have enough data, and it seems like it's obvious.
Average, yeah.
But at the same time,
You know, you've seen so many charts over the years. You've seen so much price action.
yeah, but it's
I'm sure you can look at a chart and be like, the average volume is probably sitting around.
Yeah,
here.
but I can't explain it. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, it's like I kind of had an
have that
idea that it
instinct.
would be in there, but
Yes.
I can't explain it. Which is that's what I've learned over time is if you can't explain a concept, it's of some value, but not as much as it could be, because it's like, yeah, I can eyeball it, but it's also means that for every time I eyeball it at 190, I might also say something that's wrong. Like, I don't actually have some scientific thing that I'm doing in my brain. But either way, look, that's
intuition.
So from here, it's about 50. What is that? $32. So just 14%. That's 14% risk if you bought it here to the anchored VWAP. For a lot of people, that's reasonable risk to reward on a stock that can move like this. It's just up to you, like, and you know how you're expressing the trade. Hopefully, Coin, Hood, and all these things go to the moon. I just think for now, we're in a settling zone. All right, this Amazon.
Yep, once again.
It's just not, you could have taken it
don't want
again.
it. Yeah, could have totally taken it.
You could have
again.
100% just taken it right again, like 97, 98, 99. But here, the way I like to think about this is whether or not I actually reloaded, I behave like I did. Because the stock doesn't care whether you took more shares at 226 again, right? Whether you actually added back into the position, the stock doesn't know that. So if I had, would I be taking some out here where I was before? Answer, yes. And why? Because each time that it tests, it's a higher likelihood that it breaks. So therefore, I should be taking profit at that level. So regardless if I reloaded or not, I'm still getting out more shares, because that's all. It's just giving you a 20-cent scalp. So you have to have that in your process, I think. And let's go up to Adara.
Trump has officially signed the Genius Act. He was speaking for a while there, as we know. It has been signed. Now he is posing with it, taking photos. So I guess the commencement as of right now of this Genius Act signing, it looks like they're playing music. I'll let you guys know if anything else happens, but it looks like this event has come to an end. Before I send you back to the guys, though, I do want to remind you, check us out on X at TTV Research for fun and informative trading and market-related content every single weekday. Here's our weekly calendar for next week, and it's going to be stacked. We have Tesla and Alphabet reporting earnings after the bell on Wednesday. We'll also get Coca-Cola, Domino's, Enphase, Intel throughout the week. So check this out on X at TTV Research. I post this weekly calendar every Friday around 3 p.m. Eastern. We also already have our daily calendar for next Monday out as well. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. I just turned around and saw that hefty pen that he's got going on there. Like a gigantic Sharpie or a marker that he signed it with.
Where?
I suppose. No, just the Genius Act.
Oh, yeah.
Someone put the cap back on the pen.
No, you can see that most of those executive orders even, that marker is thick.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean,
jokes that we made. Bigfoot, CRM has bottomed, I think. Forward P's under 20. What do you think? So the thing, CRM has been telling a fantastic story about how it's going to be AI is game changing for them and half their productivity is already going towards AI. That's all well and good. And I love the CEO as well. And it's a stock that I don't know how many. I have some shares of this from a very long time ago. I have neither bought nor sold CRM in a very long time, so it doesn't really matter. And I don't remember the last time I actually transacted on this in my long-term account. But I do have some shares somewhere.
and
they're not that significant. That being said, like, where's the actual performance? It's great to tell a story. I love. You can always look at this and say, well, you could just be buying off this 257 as a little bit of a day swing kind of idea here, but I'd love to see it break a trend. Right? Like, it did one trend break, which gave you a move that rejected the 200 period. I'm like, okay, so that means when it breaks the 200 period, it's going to look really good. But if you're looking for something else, oops, I didn't have my drawing tool on. I don't know, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. Like, from the highs, insignificant. From this rejection of the 200 period moving average, it already broke trend, did nothing with it. So it's breaking trend and not accelerating. So at this point, what I would care about would be reclaiming the 50, breaking out at this little level here, and then just that to the 200. But until this is above the 200 period moving average, it's a pass for me. That being said, if it goes into the teens in terms of its PE and gets back down into some bigger levels, let's just do it the proper way here. We're talking long term. Why am I looking at a daily chart? So if it pulls back even further, like you've got 236, 237, that's a 50 period on a monthly chart. And support even better, the big level on the monthly is right just around the 200 level. So you go to those levels and that's game on for a stock like this, because then you'll be in the teens and you're at some big historical levels. The 50 period is now being respected on the monthly chart. So it's a good consolidation, but we haven't done anything with it. You're either already long off this bounce on the monthly chart, or you're waiting for it to break out to get long. One or the other. That's the way I'd be approaching it here on CRM. Look, I like the company. I like the stock. I actually have a friend that works there and speaks very highly of it. It's just not really doing anything right now on CRM. Amazon right back. See, this is why you get some out.
Right back at it.
Right back at the top. So for anyone that's like they're sitting there, it's 3:30. At some point, this is probably
it could
going
just
to
not
break.
even crack. No, it could. What if it just doesn't crack?
Doesn't crack?
Because this is what I said. Remember the Bezos lid?
But here's the thing. If we're within 10 cents of this when the imbalances come out, this is going to get run.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the imbalances it's Friday, options expiration. If there's even a muted imbalance on this thing, it's going to run that level. Because, yeah, so like if it bounces down, I would get out again. I'm not even reloading this anymore. I just think it's a nothing burger at this point. Like scalp what you can out. Open is not open for business now. It is not breaking. It is not moving. I'm risking 5 pennies on this, and it's not even moving more than 3. So what can you do? It's just not really doing anything. I like the continuation on the stock, and I think we give it a shot next week as well. It's enough of a trend continuation on open after yesterday to want this one long more than just this little push. But for the afternoon trade, it's not doing a heck of a lot.
What is doing a lot right now, or maybe a lot, is MSTR. I was talking about this one. I want to see the right things happen. We did kind of push up, and I was like, oh, what is it going to do? Move 5 points off of this low? Guess what, Neil? It moved 5 points off of that low from 422s to 427s. A little bit of a push, but again, still well within that downtrend. We could even get all the way to VWAP. Again, I guess the trade is reversion to VWAP at certain times. But let's see, with only about 30 minutes left, sure, it is well within range for MSTR to travel another $7 to $8 up into the close in the next 30 minutes. But what I'm watching here with more of an interest, Neil, is that 226 on Amazon, still sitting a little bit of a short against that. But you can see multiple times over and over again since I initially started this position at about, what is this, about 240-ish, 245-ish coming into power hour. You can see that multiple tests of that level have held pretty decently, so held offer indeed. Again, I'm watching some of that volume coming in. When it does push into the level, aggressive bids.
Hey, something's happening in Microsoft.
Can't push through it. Microsoft, something's happening. Oh boy. Yeah, it's maybe it's finally poised to crack that multi-day trend, Neil. We've seen
no news I see yet, but could be technical. And as to your point, there goes open. Yeah, so open lost 20. I got out at 19. Did I get the half dollar? No, I got 19 evens out on open. So it's just not going anywhere. And I know the chart looks good on open, but these are day trades. We got to be out of it by the end of the day. You can't hold we can't hold here for a swing on this prop account. But Microsoft, again, I'm still not seeing a headline. This could just be a consolidation break on Microsoft after, look at the daily chart. At some point, this buying on Microsoft is going to end, and we're going to get several down days that probably take you all the way to 480 or so. And it could just resume after that, but this has been waiting to make this kind of a move. And it's a Friday as well, so sometimes you get a little bit of that kind of action. I'm going to get another bid out in Amazon. This thing is just annoyingly not following through more than 15, 20 cents. Microsoft, again, no news. It's a decent volume spike, but still not overwhelming. Like, it's okay. But this did more volume at the close yesterday than what we're seeing spike. Adara?
I'm not seeing any news on this. That can always change, but I do want to let you know I checked on X to see what the kind of social media attention was for this name, because that can sometimes matter on these Meg 7 names. This thing is getting tons of messages, or sorry, mentions. Like I'm talking at least 5 tags per minute, which for a Meg 7 and not a meme stock is pretty significant, guys. So people at social media at the very least are watching MSFT here. Back to you.
And just for, I put this in the chat for Craig there. On our balance look, I can show you the imbalance locator right now. You've got early look buys on CVX of 1.9 million, Walmart 1.8 million to buy, Schwab 1.4 million. Good report for them this morning. What else? Chewy's a sell of 900,000. What you won't see on here are any of the big Mag 7 names or the trade desk, because those are Nasdaq stocks. And on Nasdaq stock, we will not see the imbalances until 350. There's no early imbalance information that you have. With the trade desk, of course, going into the index today. It's not doing much, but we're going to have to wait to see. Like, you could guess it's going to come out a buy and then just go long, hoping it comes out the right way. But just remember what happens if it comes out the wrong way when everyone's anticipating buy. The algos are going to get the first liquidity, and then you'll get stuck with everything after that. So I don't like that game. I need to be pretty convicted to try that. I think the only time we did a little bit on Palantir Day, because Palantir was huge. And then on Tesla. When Tesla went to the S&P, everybody was just going long before the imbalances came out because it was the biggest addition ever. So this is not that kind of a case with the trade desk, but it is a name we're going to be watching in 15 minutes for the close. Adara?
Trade desk has already been added to the S&P 500. It was added as of this morning. So I just want to mention there's not going to be any imbalance, but I mean, at least related to an addition, because the addition has already happened for TTD. I did just check to confirm. I checked the official announcement from the index. So again, I repeat, TTD already trading as part of the S&P 500. Back to you.
Yeah, you can already be trading. I muted to sneeze there. You can already be added, or you can, here's an example. A stock can get deleted from an index and have an imbalance the day after or the day before. Just because you're already being added doesn't mean you can't still have a catch-up trade. Yeah. But the point is, it's a Nasdaq stock. So it doesn't make a difference. We're not going to see the early look, that's all. There was an example yesterday. What was that? There was a buyout that got deleted. Yeah. And the delete was not the same. The delete was not the same day as the official ad. Most of the times it is, but to think that it's 100% on the exact same day, not always the case. And you will also see sometimes the day after, the day before, there will be either continuation or there could be something leading into it. So the main point is, if it's ever a Nasdaq stock, we don't have an early look. And if anyone has an early look on a Nasdaq stock, please let me know, because that would be fantastic. For years, everyone's wanted that kind of an edge. It just simply does not exist. I wish it did, but it just doesn't.
All right, so traders, listen up. First month free, that's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts. Predict with backtesting, reliable, real-time data, global markets at your fingertips. All in one platform. Do not miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description below for ETH. Thank you very much there for that. 226 is still holding, Neil.
It can't hold forever.
Microsoft still aggressively selling off. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I definitely want to pull up the book and the tape just to take a look at what may or may not be happening. Market is not really reacting to anything too crazy there. So this is just a softy, I guess maybe potentially a standalone move. Webull is continuing to push, Neil. That's interesting. Continuing to push going into the last 20 minutes of the day. CoreWeave is also a beast. CoreWeave is also a beast, of course.
So the downside is
of course.
Oh.
I have no bias. Okay. It is like beast just means to me like it is aggressively strong. That can be to the upside.
Gotcha.
Most people only think about the upside. But the downside as well, oh boy. You already know. I'm just gonna say my favorite color is red, Neil. That may or may not play a part in bias.
As a trader,
I'm even wearing red socks today. So I don't know.
Red Sox.
Yeah, I don't know if that's any significant.
That's why you're always changing the bull to a bear. But speaking of bulls,
yes.
Webull continues to go, everybody. Yay! Remember when it was like, just buy, if it's a SPAC that runs and pulls back, just buy it in front of the SPAC level if you like it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But if you want to be involved, don't do anything until it bounces off $10. What did Webull do? Bounced off $10. And if you bought it off $10, welcome to 50% to the upside. It's looking absolutely fantastic. I can tell you, whoa, these flies just literally don't care. They just don't care. It's all up in your eye, whatever, it's fine. Anyways, I can tell you I have rang the register, not on all of it. I just took out a quarter today, and it's a weird one. Whatever. So I took out a quarter in front of 16, and we don't have to do this. That being said, if I know that in my personal swing account, like my TFSA, that I am selling some bull at 16. Like I have an order that's sitting there. I just kind of stopped when it was moving into it. Like I scalped it earlier, and I was scalp trading this earlier. But I'm not trying to get remotely involved in it when it's like literally at a price which is around where I have a personal. It's just whatever. It doesn't matter because it's not actually a conflict, but we just don't do it. But Webull's been fantastic if you bought that dip. This is the time that Robinhood, that Amazon needs to follow through. It's 340. Do it or don't do it. We got places to be, like Marlo Stanfield said. Do it or don't do it. But this has been, essentially it's free money if you just short it. But I understand for a lot of traders, taking a 225, 97 or 98 and getting it down to 77 or 83, like in there, it's not, like that's not gonna be anything people get excited about, but just understand on a prop desk, it's just something that when you get a level like this, that's just how it is. Like the day this happened with Apple, the entire floor was short Apple at like 97, 98, 99. Or not, I shouldn't say that, but almost every single person was making the same trade. Monster on the offer on a big stock where it's expensive to punch through, so you're just riding in front of that obvious seller. Looks like it's not following through. Obi, you can have fun with this one. I'm gonna follow my own rule. I'm just gonna get out on this bounce. Like this is ridiculous. It just can't seem to go. I'm just canceling my stop order and gonna get out here. And yeah, I'm kind of done with it. It doesn't want to break, and I don't want to be involved with this going into the imbalances in about 7 minutes, everybody. Sean James, there's your alarm for the imbalances.
I got a 42. Hey yo, 42 alarm.
The greatest number ever.
Of course. 42 alarm, just to kind of, I think I told you the story behind the alarm, right? There's one time, I guess it doesn't happen as much anymore.
I don't think you did tell the story, actually.
We missed imbalances because we were talking in the kitchen.
Who's we? Not me.
No, not we, as in like some of the traders on the floor.
We're here.
And I was not very happy about that because I was like, that is a fundamental flaw in process. So I'm just like, okay, this is never going to happen again, and I don't care. I'm going to put on a very loud alarm at 42 just to let me know wherever the hell I am.
We have a very different definition of a very loud alarm.
Sure, it's loud enough for me to be like, it's also the weekend, so I'm definitely going to be like, whoa.
You know what else it is? You know what tomorrow is, everybody?
What is tomorrow?
It's Obi's birthday tomorrow, everybody. Obi turns 25 years old. He's gonna paint the town apparently red, his favorite color. So if you happen to be out and about in Toronto, there's a good chance that we need to all make sure that Obi gets home safely after tearing it up downtown. So if you see him on the
please
streets,
take me home safely if you find me. Is that what you're telling them?
That's not what I said, man. And I didn't say that.
I'm accepting applications.
Hey, you could as well.
Oh boy, thank you guys. Thank you for showing the love in the chat.
25, it's a big number.
Yeah, it's a big number. We only turned 25 a few times in our lifetime, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
How many times has it been?
I honestly can't even remember.
Oh, see, so you're not going to say it. I can just look up how old you are. I could.
I mean, you can, but I told you that's proprietary information.
but I can look it up anytime.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you're part of the
every
firm.
Trading account,
you're part of the firm.
No, but like every trading account here at Real Trading, you got to be registered, right? So I can look it up in my and then just check whatever document you use. It could be your passport. I have it on file. I'm just saying I could check everybody, but I'm not going to do it.
All right.
Because I respect
the softy bit is evaporating.
Privacy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. You guys still chiming in. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, no, definitely going to be a great weekend. It's been a solid week as well, so I couldn't ask for anything better. So thank you guys for being here with us, or with us for the rest of the week. I'll be here on Monday and Tuesday as well, Neil. So yeah, Sean's not back until Wednesday.
Getting that vacation on with the family, much deserved, 100%. That's what it's all about. Oh, no one said that other Zinc. I never implied any illicit activity. You're just going to have good old-fashioned fun like you will. I know you will. But at the same time, 5 minutes to go to the imbalances. CVX is still a buy. Now, remember the Hess deal went through and CVX got punished for it. So the stock went down. Walmart's still a buy, but that's actually gotten smaller. Chewy is still a 900,000 sell. Schwab is still a 900,000 to the buy side, everybody. Looking up to see if... And Amazon might break it. It might. It's still trying to break that 226. It's been sitting there forever, everybody, and it just cannot seem to break that 226 level. But, like a good, sort of good opportunity to have scalped off it. I wouldn't be doing it anymore. I think you're kind of running out of time to want that trade as it gets a little bit later. NVIDIA, yeah, it's a bad stop out on NVIDIA. Again, just trending down. Not a lot of action in the afternoon. You could have maybe scalped this is the thing, in the last 30 minutes, NVIDIA's given you 30 cents in a random price area. Or at an obvious price area, you can take 20 pennies on Amazon where your risk is certainly going to be less. Oh, yeah. That's why you would be looking at in Amazon over in NVIDIA this afternoon. It is bizarre, Damien, but you see this every now and then. And that's the thing. If you see something like this, as a trader, you're just you got to take advantage of it. You don't see that very often. It might have been 2 years ago, not one, on Apple where we saw something like this at $180. Every now and then, you'll see it. There's multiple ways you can take advantage of it. You can wait all day long for it to break, in which case you've done nothing. You can buy the dips and go long into it so that you're long and not taking the breakout, but benefiting if it breaks. Or you can short directly in front of 226.
What do you think is the best way to do it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
They all work.
No,
they all work in different
relative
situations.
to how the stock is set up on the day today. I don't know. And plus the fact that Bezos has been filing some sells.
Especially on a Friday on the even dollar, I just like the short at the level. I have always liked that. I think if you're doing the long into it, you just need to have some kind of a structure for where your dip buy. Right now, the dip buy is obvious because it's been holding a level. But the first time, where are you dip buying in? You don't know. Right. If your dip buying here doesn't work, it broke trend here. So I guess you could dip buy into here, which is the prior high. That would make sense, I guess. But it's a little more complicated to do the dip. You know what? The dip buy strategy is probably the most lucrative when you get it right. Because you're getting the scalp, but then if it breaks, you're also getting an outsized move on your long, but it's also the trickiest in terms of trying to figure out where to buy it. Right. Which is exactly how it should be. The thing which has the trickiest entry should easily be the one that pays off the most. I just like the most simple thing. And the most simple thing you can do is sell 97, 98, 99. Yeah. No, I think I like that as well. I would go as far as to say being I like the shorting against the ice a lot better because that is more defined. I can be I know exactly where I'm wrong if this pushes. Sure, I might slip a little bit, but I don't know. I just feel like I like the short a lot better against something, even if it's like a held bid. Right? I like the long against it. Oh, yeah. So it's if there's size there, I want to risk against it, maybe use it as my, if there's size showing, even better, Neil, because then I can see how much the ask or the bid decrements before it gets pushed through. And that's something that that's my exit liquidity in a sense. If I see it decrement in a way that it hasn't decremented before, distinctly different, break of trend in the decrementation of whatever the ask or the bid, that's also a break in trend, right? So if I see that, that's an executable,
action to take off of that.
This one's unique.
I like that a lot. But the ICE is one lot.
Yeah. Well, this is what's unique.
ICE.
The example I was saying with Apple at 180 a while back, that like there was literal size on Apple.
Yeah.
Like it was just like a gigantic displayed order at 180. In this case on Amazon, you're not even, oh, it's there right now, right? Like you just come to there you go. Like this is not size. And as a matter of fact, it's ARCA for 100. Like if it gets up there again, it's ARCA for 100 shares with an actual iceberg order that's been holding this level. So there's not a bunch of size. When Apple did it a couple of years ago and everyone was shorting, there was a boatload of size. Here, you're also guessing at the amount of liquidity that's going to be there when it breaks through, because you're not just sitting there staring at how much is in the book. You kind of have to guess. But the other cover you have is the fact that the high of the day, why is this still Palantir? And
right,
Palantir's trying to go, but we got a few seconds till imbalances. The high of the day on Amazon isn't exactly 226. It's 226.05.
Ooh,
So they have a little bit of cover. Here come the imbalances in now.
Boom, there it is. So it did break, Neil. We got straight up to 20s. So like I said, I was holding on to a little bit. Flipped about, I guess, 20.
It must be a buy, but I don't see it. Apple's a buy of a mil. Walmart was there from before. CVX came out smaller at 1.7. IQ, whatever that is, small cap is 1.7 to the sell side. I'm not even seeing Amazon. Tesla's a buy of 700,000. Plug is a $1 stock. It doesn't matter. Amazon's 700,000 buy. Not even a big imbalance on Amazon, but any imbalance was going to run that. Right? Like it could have been a buy of 200,000 and it was probably gonna run that. Why? Because one of the reasons is who's gonna sit there with a reserve order through the imbalances? Like nobody's selling. If you're sitting there with a reserve for all afternoon on Amazon at 226, why would you leave it in? If it's a buy imbalance, you can just now all of a sudden get all those fills here instead of there. Like even though it's not that much money, people make money where they can. So yeah, there's Amazon. It goes through that 226. You got to take advantage of it. I never want to hold those things through the imbalances. It did immediately come right back in, but yeah, now it's starting to go. I just wanted to check this out because someone said Oklo is going. Grunfeld in the chat. Oklo running on volume into the close here. That did not hit one of my scanners, which is a bit weird. I mean, it was already having a decent day. Oh, get it, Oklo. Get it, nuclear names in general. For sure, that's something we should talk about in the aftermarket show, sort of the nuclear run that we've been on. This one needs to really get above 70, and then you can jam. Is my baby going? Is it going? Is it going? Is it going? Is it going? I know it's going.
It's going.
I know it's going. 7%. SM to the R.
Where's you get in on this one? Baby. I know you guys got in a little early on
13?
This one. I'm sorry, what?
I'm in at 13 on this.
Say again?
$13.
$13.
Yes.
Nice. Good trade. That is a great trade.
We like nuclear. But you know what I also like? You don't have to take big risks in the energy space to build on this whole data center nonsense. You can also have Vistra, Constellation,
ooh, look at that.
GE Vernova. Yeah. You like that chart?
Oh.
This is what I love, charts that look like this.
Yeah.
There's a fly on the program monitor now. Like it's perfect. It's beautiful. Can it do this forever? Absolutely not. Kind of like Microsoft, you don't go up linearly this long forever. But just, again, power is important. Last I checked. 7 minutes to go, everybody. Let me double check. Amazon's doing absolutely nothing.
I think nuclear is the way of the future for sure. It makes no sense for us.
The demands are just
take
too
any
big.
other pathway. Yeah, it just from a long-term perspective, it makes no sense for us not to take that path. But you know, it is what it is. Of course, there are going to be people who are kind of against that, which is fine. That's going to happen. But that transition is almost inevitable. I think.
Like Thanos.
Yeah, it's inevitable, whether you like it or not. We need to find more effective and efficient ways.
17 Weeble? Oh, I sold some at $16.
Oh boy, yeah, it's squeezing.
I literally sold some at $16 today. Whatever. You can't. You either take profit on swings or you don't, right? Like that's sort of the thing, because you know you're coming into like it's obvious like you're coming into another level of resistance at $18 on Weeble. Absolutely brassing. Congratulations during this one. I should message Sean, although here's the thing, Sean's on vacation, but I promise you he knows. We're both in this one under $11. I'm pretty sure under $11. I am. I know he has it around there, but either way, doesn't really make a difference. Looking absolutely fantastic. If it breaks out 19, all systems go, and it's going to be a good one. It already is a good one, but now it's not yet a free roll. But if we break out that 19, I'll take another piece out and turn it into a free roll. Let's go take care of some biz.
All right, guys, trade the pool. With Trade the Pool's swing trading programs, you can get access to up to $40,000 in buying power to trade real shares, not CFDs. You can hold positions overnight, over the weekend, and enjoy limited risk thanks to a one-time evaluation fee. No monthly payments, no hidden costs. Take Vincent, for example, one of the Trade the Pool's swing traders. He's already locked in $23,000 in profits. His top performer, NMAX. He shorted it from April 20th to May 30th and pulled in a $6,770 gain. Trade the Pool is giving swing traders the tools, the time, and the capital to thrive. Scan the QR code and enjoy 10% off. Check those guys out. Trade the Pool. So Amazon.
Very quickly, just to update on the imbalances. Nothing really, there were no big ones outside of that CVX. And then some small buys all over the place. CVX paired mostly off. NVIDIA showed up for like 700,000. 700,000 shares in NVIDIA, I shouldn't have to tell anybody, is very insignificant. Walmart paired off a bunch. Schwab is still about 900,000 shares, but again, that's not going to move the needle. The biggest one is CVX. But a company like CVX, like that imbalance, it's done 32 million shares, and you've got 1.8. It's moving a little bit here, at least, on CVX. And TD Baker, thank you for the super chat. Can you explain why a company gets in the S&P, and is there an advantage to them? Absolutely. You're going to be in all, like you're in the biggest index. That's just going to mean you're going to have more access to, everybody wants to be in the index, first of all. More funds are going to be tracking you. So it's just, the other thing, actually, you know what? The important thing for why a company gets in sort of is who is eligible. Like, you've got to make sure you've gotten profitability. I believe it's 4 quarters in a row, including, you know, and I mean, I think the second that Palantir got that, everyone knew they were going in right away. Sometimes it's kind of that obvious, like Robinhood is one that everyone is speculating could get in next. But it's just, it's a huge milestone where you're just going to have more investment, and it's a good price bump. That being said, just because it runs in Datadog, just because you get bought up and get the benefit of being added to the indice, let me go to a daily chart, it doesn't mean it's all well and good. Most of the time, people know the names that are rumored to go in, and it's getting bought up going into it. At least it's in an upward trend. And then you get the news, you're coming into it, usually there's a pullback. Datadog filled in the gap before coming back to the upside. So there's a hefty sell the news event. My personal theory is that the heftier the sell the news event is, the more people knew that it was going in the first place ahead of time, and there's more people to profit take strictly from the fact that it got added, and they didn't want to hold the stock long term. But it's a fantastic long-term boon for any company, any growing company. And for a lot of these names, they might already be in a lesser index and then are getting just bumped up. So it's not always like you're going from nothing to something. Sometimes it's bigger than others. Obviously, Tesla's and Palantir are gigantic examples of bigger moves. Uber had a very large move. You can never predict what it's going to do in the days after, but more often than not, at least the first couple of sessions are sell events. More often than not, it ends up being a run into it and then a sell the news like Datadog did. I really hope that we see Robinhood. I never got into Robinhood in my long term, so I've missed this move in Robinhood. We got some other stuff that's been great, but I've missed the move in Robinhood. But I still hope it gets in for everybody, because I know a lot of people have been looking for that. And just because Hess is coming out, maybe we get an announcement tonight. There's no guarantee that we know who's replacing Hess. We just kind of hope that we get one. I just realized there's 90 seconds to go.
Oh boy.
So I have to get ready because we got the aftermarket show. So I'm gonna prepare myself to get up to the desk so we can do the market recap.
Yeah, thank you very much, Neil. Right here.
Oh,
boom.
Happy
Great.
birthday.
Thank you very much.
I can't believe you didn't say anything about your birthday.
Why would I say that? Why would I? And I wasn't even expecting that. Joe definitely outed me on that one. Unexpected, irrelevant, unnecessary.
As he should.
But thank you.
As he should.
No, thank you all for being so awesome enough to join our community and be here with us for this whole week and all the time as well. I know some of you viewers are very long time viewers as well, so shout out to all of you as well. Market, absolutely beautiful this week. We had some crazy moves, right, guys? So that circle push finally came in. Well, I don't know if it's exhaustion, but that crazy push and then pull back down, reverting 100% of the day's action and then some. Oh boy, Circle has been absolutely beautiful. Hood as well with the multi-day run, multi-week run on some of those stocks as well. So thank you all for being here for all of that. Now, Bell, thank you very much, Adara. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's the market for the week, guys. It's been crazy. I want you guys to throw it up in the chat. I'm seeing all the happy birthdays. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And again, I will be here Monday and Tuesday. Have a great weekend. I hope you guys stay safe out there. I'm definitely going to be having fun. Like, yeah, just 25. Yeah, no, that's untrue. But I am on my, I guess, multiples of 25th birthday, as Neil said earlier. Stuff to watch out for next week. Stuff that was definitely in play. Crypto this week, coming off of Crypto Week and everything that President Trump has given us in the crypto market. Let's see if we get more of that sentiment going into next week. I showed you guys some of the weekly charts there as well. I'm down to dance with Trump there. But no, we saw Hood, Coin, MSTR as well. Crypto is very much in play. I want to keep an eye on some of these names going into the next week. Quantum as well. We saw a strong push in a lot of the quantum names this week. Energy. Neil was showing us some of the quantum energy names. Nuclear energy names as well. So a lot of exciting stuff happening here in the markets. Hopefully, you guys will join us next week once again to see what the market has in store for us. Go in. Thank you very much for the super chat saying drink on me. I definitely will be having a good weekend. Thank you very much, guys. I think without any further ado, I've said so many thank yous because those happy birthdays keep coming in. Oh boy, I'll be here next week. But stick around. We got Neil and Adara with the market recap. It's still earnings season. Oh boy, take it easy.
Thank you so much, Obi. Welcome to your market recap show brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex. And what a wild day it was. First off, happy birthday, Obi. Hope you enjoy it. And if you could do me a favor, I have a ticket. Can you there's a button top right on my screen. I wanted to send the ticket into the back office. It's very, very obvious. Just press the button. You can't miss it. Thanks so much, Obi. I've already created the ticket. Just hit send. You should be able to find it. What an unbelievable day. Sell the news though, Adara. Sell. But it wasn't all bad for the crypto names because at least early on there was an epic squeeze. I'm talking about epic squeeze. Whether you're looking at Robinhood or Circle, Webull just kept go Webull. It squeezed all day. Circle just all morning long was running. You just could not stop. Got as far as 263. And this, of course, is on the heels of all three bills getting passed. In addition to that, you had the president saying he would sign an executive order allowing 401ks to expand what they can invest in, including crypto and other assets. So that was pretty bullish for the space. But once the selling came in, it really never stopped until we caught a bit of a bid at 223. So whether you looked at Circle or whether you're looking at Coinbase in here, that initial push, which was great, And I'm sure lots of money got made on the longs this morning, but the sell was even more spectacular in a lot of these names here. And we probably need to settle down for a couple of days, but we've seen this story before where we get a little bit of sell the news action.
Yeah, certainly some sell the news action. Speaking of news, I want to quickly talk about TSLA. Right. And then, yeah, I have some trading stories for you guys after involving MSTR. We're going to start here with TSLA. We do have, I guess, a report from Reuters that Raj Jagannathan, who is actually an IT executive for the company and has no sales experience, apparently is leading Tesla sales now. So we know Troy Jones earlier this week was reported to have left the company. He was a sales executive at Tesla for 15 years. So now some people are speculating that apparently Raj might be replacing Troy Jones. Apparently Raj has grown closer to Tesla over the years. If you look at his X account, it does look like the traditional Tesla executive X account. He's really only posting about Tesla and reposting Elon. So it looks like a good look. Apparently, Raj and Elon are pretty tight. If he is running the company's sales, it'll be an interesting look. Though, again, there is some speculation this could be an interim role. It's just a report right now from Reuters. Now, I want to tell a story here, if I may, Neil, about ideas versus execution. So this is MSTR. Took us short here. We broke this consolidation level. You risk. Then I moved my stop to this level because I was like, oh, we're kind of, 90 MA, it was fine, it was whatever. We break above that level. I did not see this in time to get back in a VWAP. We tank. It's fine, it's cool. Now 430 was a level I liked on MSTR longer term. I said, I have no problem trying this as a long. Now the issue is I accidentally doubled the amount of shares I wanted to use. So triple check your math, especially if you're kind of in a headspace. Didn't work, get stopped out, whatever. I try one more time. Again, doesn't work. And I will be honest, I did get shut down today. And the thing is, all of my trades would have been 100% strong winners had I executed them appropriately. That is the truth. So now you go back, you take your notes, and you come back stronger the next day. That's what you learn anyways. I just wanted to share that story. I think it's very timely with the short today. And yeah, I think missing, $29, $27 move on a stock, if that's not enough to teach you to be patient and to wait for these levels, I don't think anything is. So I've taken notes and I am ready to come back to the market tomorrow.
You know what, though? There was nobody, I didn't see anybody in the chat. I didn't see anybody this morning. I certainly myself. I've been a person that said Bitcoin's doing absolutely nothing. We're not moving on Bitcoin. Everything else is going. So the other side to that trade is when it was a sell the news event, to be looking at something Bitcoin related. And the best leverage product to do that if you're going to short it is going to be obviously MSTR. Well, not obviously, but in most cases MSTR. So you're in the right place. And if you're going to get shut down in a day, have it be in the biggest potential opportunity. And I don't know that there's a better. Now, obviously, I would make obviously Circle, because it scrolled to the upside, might have moved more because of how much it was up. But I don't know that there was a cleaner type of trade to the downside. Well, this is a daily chart. I just new layout today for the aftermarket show. There's a 3-minute chart. I don't know that there was a cleaner downside move. Circle had to squeeze before going. This was easily the best shorting opportunity. Your job as a trader, swing trader, day trader, whatever, whatever time frame you have, your first job is to when you want to express a trade like sell the news, is to find the right place to express it. So MSTR was the right place to express it. It was never against the trend. And so you have the most important part correct. What should you be looking at? I think you had the entry dead on. It's there. My only question, the moving of the stop, we always have to be careful. I do this, sometimes I've done this myself too, but it is what it is. I think it was a great call. I wish you would yelled it out. Maybe more of us could have been looking at that short, no questions asked. It was gorgeous. I think the story for us is what next for a lot of these crypto names.
Oh yeah.
How long is this sell the news and pullback going to be? Do we have to wait this out days, weeks? And I think patience is going to be required here. And if you're looking, if I'm looking to buy the dip, the first thing I'm going to consider is what are the things that are pulling into big levels and how did they react today? You look at a daily chart of Robinhood, and you're like, well, if this is a temporary top on Robinhood, it's not a good looking candle. And obviously Robinhood sold off today, but it's not even heck, Robinhood is still above the prior high. It's done nothing off the top. So if it's going to be pulling back, it's done nothing already. Circle, on the other hand, could be a bit of a different story, but I think patience is required in trying to figure out where we're buying the dip. I think in Bitcoin, I know I like the 110 area on Bitcoin for the first look, but when it comes to Circle, we looked at 190 being something, we're not even close to that level. Not even close.
Yeah, I think for Circle, for me, honestly, I think the 170 is a little bit more interesting, just because that's like really and we've made higher lows since then. If we can hit that 170, like around where we had that crazy, crazy sell-off that one Friday, I think that'll be very much of interest for me. Now, I want to talk about Hookipa as well. That was that HOOK.
Okay, thank you.
I have news on it now, Neil. Apparently, they're going to be voluntarily delisting into registering. This is a name that halted on news, as you can see here. Very little volume, very little trading, a yuck chart. And yeah, now apparently dead to the index voluntarily. Apparently, VREX, this is big milkshake trading, can stock sold after market. They are asking, yes, they can, I think, at least for news. But VREX, nice little pop here. I'm going to look up anything. I couldn't find any news on it on Benzinga. Last article for this one was from Monday, so certainly not what is moving the stock now. But I am going to take a look here on X. I'm not seeing anything as of right now for VREX. Apparently, yeah, no, again, I'm not seeing anything here since like Monday, Tuesday. That's the only link I'm seeing. But yeah, we're going to have to wait and keep an eye to see what is happening there. Microsoft, okay. This might be the new, again, sometimes you get news later. You know, we talked about MSFT. I mentioned this is actually in the watch list. There were some issues with the company with regards to China and Chinese engineering. Now, apparently, the company has announced via a spokesperson on X that they have made changes to support, the U.S. government customers, and they will no longer be using Chinese engineering teams to provide technical support. We know that there is an issue there. So my question, Neil, is if Microsoft bends for this team and they say, okay, you know what? House Committee, we hear you. NVIDIA also has some issues with the House China Committee right now related to its H20 sales.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for NVIDIA? Because we know Jensen Huang has been very, very emphatic. Not only does he think that NVIDIA should be selling chips to China, he thinks it's actually good for the US that China has these chips. He's made very solid arguments that it's very unlikely that China would, even if they wanted to, they wouldn't really be able to feel comfortable using their American chips for the military because they can't rely on them.
Well, look at the other way around. We're not American.
No.
But would any of our Americans watching, would you feel comfortable using Chinese chips or technology for military? Like, come on. I know we have viewers in service. Of course you wouldn't. So I would tend to agree with that. But the other side to that coin would be simply, if we're calling it like it is, NVIDIA and access to NVIDIA chips is like the biggest bargaining point that the government has right now.
Yes.
And so Jensen, like, you better believe he holds weight. And it's nothing against, look, Microsoft is a powerhouse.
Yes.
But at this particular moment, as we said, the biggest thing is getting access to these chips so you can stay in the AI battle. And so I tend to think that it's not as big of a deal for NVIDIA because NVIDIA has so much more leverage right now in the current environment. But that's just, that's my 2 cents. Like, I'm not an analyst. Candidly speaking, I own like probably 7 times as many shares in NVIDIA as I do Microsoft. So that's probably a little hopium on my part as well. But again, it's just, those are just my thoughts. NVIDIA looking fantastic, though there was, again, some selling on NVIDIA today and trending down. But I think for the most part, that was the chips. That was the overall market. It's been making fresh all-time highs. And NVIDIA just doesn't move like that anymore. Like, NVIDIA's move up. And a lot of this, it's not just NVIDIA. I mean, Microsoft's doing the same thing. A lot of this grind higher that we're seeing right now is very boringly awesome. And NVIDIA falls right in that category. It's not the let's blow it out once 1 or 2 days during the week where you have these massive 5+% days. We're not doing that at all. We're just stair-stepping into the upside. And if you're watching in your long term, you're salivating at the prospect. But you could apply that to Microsoft, which maybe we saw the first sign today. I don't know, like Microsoft at the close, that was some selling. Remember, companies can't do buybacks in the last 10 minutes, but they started selling that off way before. At some point, Microsoft has to make a top. And I know as a day trader, like that day, everyone's like waiting for the day that they feel comfortable shorting Microsoft because this trend has been silly.
You could have today off the open, you would have actually been fine.
Off the open, sure. But I'm talking about, like, with this trend up, I'm talking about the day that it does a big move down.
Okay, like an MSCR, like 100.
Just a real move to the downside because this has been grinding since 420, and like you've got some red days in there. Did I just say that? I mean, but this is the level, Remain. So it's not like I wasn't trying to say that. And that's not even where, see, my mind doesn't even work. I'm such a wholesome person.
That's a great pun.
That's not even where my mind was going.
It's not even that unwholesome, really.
Yeah, because it's legal now, right?
At least here, for us.
Well, it's legal here in probably, how many states?
A decent amount of states.
A lot of states. But either way, I think you're due for a pullback at some point, for sure. Look, here's the other thing. Where was it? Anon in the chat. Is Anon Purse? I liked it. Let me go in right here. We want China to have outdated chips. I agree. It's just going back to the NVIDIA thing and finishing that thought. I think your best case scenario is make a boatload of money, right? So China, you need US dollars. That's great, using US dollars to buy NVIDIA chips so that you control the quality of them, what they're able to do to a certain extent, and you're getting a boatload of money out of them. And you're also, what might be the most important point, you are to a certain extent giving them less incentive to build their own. Because if they don't have access to NVIDIA chips, that just gives them more reason to catch up. And if that happens, well, that's less money for your companies to make. That's less control you have out of their growth. And then in the AI race, you risk so much more. I think it makes total sense. And as usual, our main man, Jensen, holds all the chips, literally. Literally,
he's got the chips. And I think the thing is, I said this to you as well. I think Jensen should probably be careful with how he deals with the government, because we know that, already some comments and deals with contracts have been threatened towards a different Meg 7 CEO. Obviously, the context there is, to put it mildly, distinctly different. It's not like Jensen had his own little department or whatever called CHIP or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't even know what CHIP would stand for. But regardless, the point I'm trying to make is Jensen has enough precedent that he probably knows to be careful, but Jensen is also very diplomatic. Jensen knows how to play the game. Jensen's also a much higher profile than Satya Nadella. I have no issue with Satya Nadella. I'm just saying, if you want to compare Microsoft's response to NVIDIA's, I think Jensen knows he can play things a little bit differently. And I love that he did this. He visited Trump and he went to China right after Trump literally name-dropped NVIDIA in his Truth Social post and said how much they've gained since Liberation Day lows, which is, I mean, he didn't word it like that. He kind of made it seem like Liberation Day brought up the stock, which is neither here nor there. But the point is, Jensen played this like a champ.
He did.
And he knows what he's doing. And I think, we're going to have to wait and see right now. The stock reacted a little bit negatively today anyway with the whole snafu with regards to China and this House China party. Either way, apparently they're going to try to have this talk with Howard Lutnick on August 8th. If that is on camera, I will be watching it, and I will 100% be covering it for you guys, because there is nothing I like more, and this is not sarcastic, than watching these House committee meetings. I literally found you can watch backlogs of them online, and I've been doing that in my spare time. So 100% I will be watching this meeting. Hando Man, maybe it's going like STX. I don't know about STX here with regards to China. I'd have to look up the history there. But either way, I will keep an eye on that. Again, I want a little bit more context. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting look here for STX, not FTX. That's a whole other kind of worms.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, but if you guys want to look at any tickers here, let us know what you're interested in looking at.
You know what we haven't talked about
like
today?
That. What?
I mean, well, we talked about Netflix, so it's not fair for me to say that we didn't talk about Netflix. But it's just, once again, and anybody that's watched, if you've been following Trader TV for a long enough time, you'll know there are certain stocks that just simply, if you're looking for things to be bullish on after they report, it's simply not Netflix. I have some concern that a muted move to the downside on good numbers actually got extended and lost the 50 period on the daily for Netflix. We had some concerns yet last night or in the afternoon yesterday. I feel as if there's just a little bit more of that now. Ultimately, it's a healthy pullback if we get one, but you're starting to see just a little bit of weakness for Netflix. It was the hours watched, right, like the actual watch time numbers that I think people were looking at. There's still flies up here too. That people are looking at as a bit of a disappointment, because the rest of the report looked absolutely fantastic for them, but the price doesn't lie, and they sold it off most of the day. John in the chat saying RCAT is
no news yet.
No news.
And none of the other names in its category are really moving, so This might just be a random move. Even on social media, it's just literally one account posting about it. So I think it's just a spam thing. But yeah, I don't have anything for you on ARCAT. ARCAT is a pretty volatile ticker, so I would certainly keep that in mind. And usually these kind of names, again, they'll move as a group, and they will usually move if there's some news from the DoD. Given that only one of them is moving, and like I can't say much here. Ebb and Flow Portfolio asked me to look at SRFM. Palantir became a 10% shareholder. Yeah, I know Palantir was involved in this name, or I think they still are. There's some kind of involvement there. So here's the thing with SRFM. This is a kind of a traditional small cap ticker. The daily charts in these are always a little bit hard to analyze, if I'm being honest. Now, we did have that, what is this, a 90-cent bottom here back in September 2024. We make a slightly higher low going back to November 2024 around 167. Then we make a slightly higher low around 195 back in June. Then we get the pop up. Now, I think, we've already kind of dropped below, I would think, the most natural bounce area of 670. That's like the early 2025 high. But I think if we can still bounce off of this next kind of level we're coming into now, that 540, 550, that's not a bad look. Right now, though, we're below it. So SRFM, if we can't get back to that like 540 level, I'm going to be honest with you, this does look like it's kind of a pop and dump. The higher lows in the daily are promising. We had to go back like almost a year to find those. So I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit of a sketchy look for me.
Yeah.
But I don't trade these on daily or longer, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful. That makes a heck of a lot of sense. And I see there's a lot of questions in the chat. I want to get to Mr. Easy Street. Great name. Great name. First of all, Mr. Easy Street. Amazon breaks that 226 seller and just stays there. The thing about it is you never really know. Oops, this is a daily chart adjusting, so I have to open. You never really know the nature of like a held bid or offer like we saw on Amazon. And if you're just tuning in now, in the afternoon, from right here, 12:51, Amazon tagged 226 for the first time since the open. It then held the entirety of the afternoon before breaking when the amounts came out at 350. It was a single iceberg order sitting there at 226 for 100 shares. And it was just displayed 100 and holding. It's entirely possible there's more shares to sell. Like, I don't know who'd be that interested in buying it up above that price if there's a seller that has much more to do come Monday. Maybe it's, I don't know, it could be Bezos. I'm not saying that it is, but somebody was just holding the stock. It was a very strong stock. They were just holding it down the entirety of the afternoon. And I think we'll get some confirmation on Monday if we're trading anywhere near this price as to whether or not this is done. But I promise you this, if we're anywhere near 226, it's going to be on my level 2 and one of the most important things I'm looking at on Monday morning, just for the price action. It's pretty unique. You can't make any assumptions. I believe we are now locked and loaded. We've got our good friend Steve Teilman ready to join us for a little bit of trader talk. Steve, good to see you once again. Welcome. I know it's a little bit later, so we'll try to get through as much as we can with you. First off, how was your week? And welcome to the show.
It's been a killer week over here. We've been really involved in the nuclear names like OKLO and SMR. ASTS has been a huge winner. And then Coin and MicroStrategy looking pretty good themselves. So good week here. How about yourself?
Oh, man, there's been so many opportunities. Whether it was Circle's volatility has been fantastic to be able to trade, so I've got no complaints over there. And I own SMR on my long-term account, so I'm smiling about that. Webull was fantastic today if you're staying in somewhat the crypto adjacent space. But I'll admit, we didn't really look at the nuclear names until the end of the day. And it's weird because I find if I'm remotely looking at quantum, for whatever reason, I have a blind spot to nuclear that day and vice versa. Like if I'm looking at Rigetti and IonQ, then I'm not looking at SMR and Oklo. And maybe it's just a me thing, but certainly you've got some good ones there. Like in the long term is great, but there were some great trading opportunities. Walk us through specifically what you saw in the nuclear space.
Oh, absolutely. The nuclear space, I think, is really strong. Forgive me, I'm looking over at my other screen here, this chart. But nuclear in general, I'm seeing these big basing patterns, honestly, very similar to HIMS. Hopefully this one will play out a little stronger, but I'm seeing these giant bases, these nice handles forming on key support levels. and big extension targets up above. And the narrative's just going along full steam. So I'm not fading these. I'm long from about 57 on Oklo here. OKLO.
Oh, and the best part about it, too, is it's not as if they're going, look, the potential squeeze names. I don't know if Martin Shkreli is short this, but if he is, he's hurting. Because he called these all zero and they've just been breaking out again. But they're not, it's not just those names going. Pull up, URA is going with it. If you simply look at the bigger names, like your Vistras, your CEGs, Constellation, G, Vernova, those are all running as well. So this is a collective move to the upside where obviously you're going to want to be playing it. If you're looking for momentum, you want to play it in some of the smaller names. And my question to you would be this. We know that any given moment there could be offerings or obviously a potential here. One negative headline, what goes up can come down even faster. As you start to get Oklo especially, how do you deal with, what's your strategy for trailing stops or how you protect yourself in a situation like this where it's been such a fantastic run? We know how these things can pull back if and when they do. What's your approach?
Well, I wish I wasn't blanking on who said this quote, but somebody once told me, you're never going to be smarter than your 10-day moving average and your 20-day moving average. So I think the hardest part about trading is holding on to these runners. So for me, the name of the game is if it's over those key moving averages, I'm in the trade. I've already taken profits on these and free rolled the positions I'm holding. So for me, it's just about holding on until the trade stops.
Oh, I like that. And it's a good quote. Whomever said it, I definitely am a big fan of it. We should probably just ask like ChatGPT or something, or whichever one you use. I don't want to, Perplexity is good as well, everybody. It's weird because I find that even on our show, like you'll say you use one and then someone immediately will type, you use ChatGPT? Grok is way better. Here's the secret. And I told this, my dad's the same way. I literally use whichever one I happen to be closest to. If I'm on X, I'm using Grok. If I'm messaging friends on WhatsApp, I'm using Llama. If I have an Edge browser open for whatever reason, then fine. Then we'll go that route. But that's what I love about AI is that you can use pretty much anything you want. Anyways, just sort of going back into the nuclear names, I think it's great to have those trailing stops so that you don't get rugged in any given situation. But the other side of the coin is, okay, so you find yourself in a spot where it pulls back in, doesn't trigger you. You ever use that for a reason to add to a working position is the other side of the coin.
I mean, you're speaking my language. Absolutely. That's how I got back into these names. They pulled back after these parabolic moves into their key 9 or 10 and 20 moving averages. And when those flagged out, they initially spiked, came down and started cupping out in that handle and basing out. That provided another entry. If we get that again, somewhere elevated above the base, then I'll take it again.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And again, the active traders, I understand some of our viewers, maybe you're on PDT, you won't be that aggressive getting back into things because you got to pick and choose. But if you're not in something, or if you've trimmed and you have the ability, we like to say don't let the stock off the hook in a trend. Right? Like if you really like it, there's multiple opportunities for you to get in, and you can certainly take as many as you want. As even JJ in the chat, the hardest part of trading is determining when to sell your winners. Losers are easy. They should be easy, JJ, but they aren't always. They should be because you should have it to find out 100%. I know we're kind of, like I said, we're running on time, but we had Netflix today, which to me, Netflix, it always signals that we're getting into the heart of earnings season, which I think that's what matters the most, especially with the Fed doing absolutely nothing right now. We've got tariff talk and trade. We have, obviously, Crypto Week was fun. Now we've got bigger earnings coming through. Is there anything that stands out for you that you're looking forward to next week, outside of, obviously, the nuclear names that you just mentioned? Anything coming into further earnings that's piquing your interest that we should look out for next week?
For me, earnings, I'm just going to take the results as they come and use that to influence my overall biases. In general, what I'm looking at right now is a lot of smaller sectors and risk-on sectors all breaking out either independently of each other or, in the same general window here. This is the sign of a really strong market. So I'm going to keep watching the names that I've been in and keep adding to them if they're working. So we talked about the nuclear basket. It's been such a good week. We didn't even mention the quantum names.
Oh,
but yeah,
right.
we're in RGTI, we're in QBTS. We're looking for expansion on those as well. And then the space basket and drones as well. So Archer, ACHR, we're in that. We missed Joby, but that's okay. We'll catch the next one here. Already up like 20 on that.
Yeah,
So
look, you can't have them all. But what I love about it, each of these sectors have multiple names that you can be watching. And I don't know if you notice this pattern today. We jump back to quantum. And I don't remember ever seeing this. It was quite literally Rigetti one day, QBTS the next day, IonQ the day after. And we're sitting there, and Obi said this on the show. He even said, it's going to be IonQ tomorrow. Why? Because the other two went. And that was it. It wasn't like, I don't think there was a specific IonQ catalyst. So it's always fun to be in the right names. And as you say, I'm with you on earnings. We get a bunch of questions. Are you going to buy or sell this going into earnings? I'm like, wait till the results and then take an action. I'm with you. And if you're going to be doing that, you need to be playing trend on something which is going. So whether it's, as you said, nuclear has been fantastic. I'm glad you mentioned the drones because we forgot to talk about those. Archer has been great. Joby has been running as well. And then, of course, the quantum names. Those are three places where you're just playing momentum. Hate to say it, the shorts are getting burned. Steve.
Absolutely. And let's throw crypto on that list, too, because that basket's still running hot. So we're in these names and we're looking for more. Let's run it hot, baby.
I love it, though. I'm crossing my fingers that we're not having a little sell the news, pull back, and we might have to sit out a couple of days on crypto. I might not be as bullish on Mondays crypto as I would be in the other places, just because of the sell the news. I'd love to see the buying come back in and then join it, but I think you're dead right. We completely forgot about it. Steve, it's always great to have you. Can't wait to talk to you next week. Best of luck in all those trades, and maybe you'll get into Joby next week to add to like the bucket of winners that you have in all three of those sectors. Once again, Steve Talman from Trade the Pool. Pleasure having you on.
Thanks so much. Take care, Neil.
All right, take care. And that is Trader Talk Adara.
It is.
You know what time it is.
I do.
It's that time that everybody knows, and that is the time where we do a little bit of roll call. But I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I always give the thing. We have a fantastic team. Fabian, Ramin, Andre, the Bash Brothers, Obi filling in for Sean, yourself, Adara, Brendo, all of the viewers. But today I'm going to get selfish on you. Oh. Today I want to give thanks to Webull for breaking out. So shout out to Webull for making dreams come true and everybody that bought it randomly in front of the $10 level because it was a SPAC. So let's get in the chat and thank Webull for being so bullish when the rest of the fintech and crypto space did absolutely nothing. So let's thank them in the chat. But make sure you hit the subscribe. If you're listening to me and not in the chat, hit the sub first, jump in the chat, and say go Bull so we can continue to run next week, Adara.
Thank you, Ticker. Thank a person. Thank a friend. Thank whoever. And I did say that I might do a fly-related freestyle rap at some point. I did tease that. You know what?
Yes.
Yeah, because these flies, I was just sitting in these desks, and I was like, why flies? I wish they'd all die. I wish I could smack them on the head. Yeah, that's not really freestyle right now because I wanted to have more time for it, but we're already at 4:32, so I do apologize, guys. 420 Bud Monster, thank you for staying here with us. I thought we might have more time to freestyle, but I can always do it next week before I go on vacation. So I promise there will be some kind of rapping on this show. You're going to be in the market recap on Monday. We'll do it on Monday.
Yes.
Let's do it.
You know what? That's my bad because you said it in the middle of the day, and I didn't remember. And if you don't, I'm 45 years old. If you don't remind me, I'm old enough that I'm going to forget.
Yep.
So anybody that didn't, if you're waiting for Adara's freestyle rap,
we apologize.
Just blame me. No, don't. It's my fault because I should have remembered and we should have made time for it. But once again, thank you, Adara. I want to give a big shout out to all of our viewers.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate all the questions, all the super chats. It's been an incredibly fun week. And we're going to have another fun one next week, especially on Monday when we will get that freestyle from Adara.
Let's do it.
And hopefully we'll have less flies in the building.
Yes.
We're Trader TV Live. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Fantastic weekend, everybody. And your Beta Pro, brought to you by Beta Pro and Globex recap show, ends now, but your weekend starts. We'll see you at 8:30.
See ya.